the video will start playing in the background like it always does, even though I have it muted. Okay, so we're live, and I have the video muted on the watch page.
Okay. Hey, people, how we doing? You know, Jim Panda here, he's seems to be pretty butthurt. He's having another Hillbilly Channel video. Isn't that kind of ironic? Now watch this. After we expose him one more time, because what you see in front of you is the very evidence. If I scroll up here, here's one of his main or his accounts, but down here he is under his Jim Panda 2012. As we look back up, we also see that Earth's discussion room is also Jim Panda. If you pay attention, if you can see it, it's blurry for me. I don't know how good you guys are seeing it, but I think it says 353 subscribers and 366 videos. You can confirm it for yourself by going to their very foul dungeon and see that the videos are greater and the subscribers are greater. The numbers only go up. If they went down, I'd be wrong on my claim. If you pay attention over here, once again, you see Jim Panda's icon, just like you see your icon right now in your upper right. If I'm wrong about that, then you're not seeing your icon. It's just common sense. So as we scroll down, now watch this. See, I'm going to go into Jim Panda's room. And if people remember right, somewhere in this audio you're going to hear, I don't have it quite keyed up. We had audio issues. I reboot and lost my timing mark, but I'm somewhere relatively close. You're going to hear an individual, and if you guys were in the chat the other day, during a live hangout, this individual comes in and says, well, Jim Panda tells you to come over his room and debate. And then he goes on to say that, well, he'll make up a neutral room. He wanted me to shut down my live hangout to go to his hangout. I'm going to go make the same offer. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to offer Jim Panda to come to Antonio's hangout. Let's see if he's man enough to live up to the same standards he tried to play upon me. He's live right now.
And tell him he's welcome to bring a friend.
Okay, now see, let's go back to his channel. This is the timestamped one. Tell him to bring what?
A friend, if he wants to bring a friend. If he thinks that 2 against 1 will be unfair.
Okay.
I don't think he will, but I want people to pay attention. If once you've gone into the chat and suggested that he come over here, which he won't.
He must have changed the name. Remember what the name was a little bit ago?
Let me just check, because I think I've got it open somewhere.
He shut his chat off. He's listening to you. He's listening to you. Why isn't my live text coming up?
No.
Or maybe not. Time mark set. Maybe he's off there. Don't rush to conclusions, hillbilly.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying about being a flat earther.
No, he is. It's called Hillbilly Anti-Gravity Wrench. Live now. I'll pass you a link to it. I'll pass you a link.
I went to his channel, Earth Live, didn't I?
Yeah, Earth Discussions. I'll pass you a link to it now here in the chat.
Oh no. Let me go there. That way I don't accidentally expose the link.
All right. Okay.
Sure.
But what I want to, once he's declined or pretended he hasn't actually seen your offer or whatever, I want to go back to the page you were showing from his own channel with all his sock puppet account.
All right.
And I want people to read through some of the name, okay? And then just kind of establish for yourselves what kind of mentality would think up of those names for sock puppet channels.
Well, this is how sick they are. If they actually had facts, they would be stepping forward with facts. But since they don't, they present the mentality of a 6-year-old.
Yep.
It's just that simple to understand. If people are new to researching the so-called conspiracy of Earth, whether it's shape or its spin, if the people who support a globe have facts, why do they act like the mentality that you would expect to find on a 2nd grade elementary playground? If this was my 6 or 7-year-old child, I might snicker about it, but I wouldn't let my child see it. I wouldn't condone the child's actions. if I seen my 16 or 17-year-old do it, I could only wonder where I went wrong as a parent. And these are grown men. So let's go make them the same offer that they wanted to make me. You're about out of
Hillbilly, whilst you were chatting, I've just done it. I've just gone in there and said, hey guys, hey Gem Panda, want to come join me and Hillbilly right now?
I'm not seeing your text.
You're in the wrong, different page. Hillbilly's Anti-Gravity Wrench is the name.
You got two of them going?
I don't know. It's on Earth Discussions.
Oh no, that was Earth Discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, I seen politics and I just jumped to there it is.
Mark Taylor. Oh dear. I'm going to start playing me some Trailer Park Boys while we wait. Oh, there you are. You're there now, are you?
Yeah, I was going.
Didn't get any answer from my offer. That's Dan Winfield. No, it's not going to happen. Come on. We know that they're not going to. They have an offer. If they want to, there. Now they've got it in chat. They're playing the chat on the video. Either they're monitoring or they're not monitoring. Doesn't matter. They can come and check it out. And if they want to, they can come into our chat and say, yeah, sure, we'll join. They're not going to man up. Come on. Nah. Okay. Enough time wasting, Hillbilly. They're not going to do it. Can you go back to the page? I want to read out some of the names of political hillbillies. Sock puppet channel.
Oh, on this one he didn't make them up yet, but boy, he sure made them up yesterday. That's the nice thing about it. I got him running so fucking silly. He had to spend an hour yesterday making up new names. Now get this. Everybody knows that I am toothless. I'm a freaking hillbilly. I'm proud. I got dentures. I don't wear them most of the time. All right. So I lost my teeth in a car accident at the age of 24. I hit the steel dash of it on the passenger side of a 67 GTO when I ran into a house. So I'm not proud that I don't have no teeth, but it wasn't that I didn't have pearly whites when I lost them. What they would be like today, who knows? I lost them at the age of 24. But so he makes fun of me of that. So I made the statement, yeah, what you're doing is nothing more than taking a paraplegic who got in an accident, dumping him out of his wheelchair and stealing his wheelchair. So he goes and makes up a bunch of names. I now got a brand new wheelchair. How freaking sick is this individual? Yeah. On one page, there's 27 names here. He's got Poncho Pete and he's got Vinny names here. Let's see, zoom. And on the other page, there's 30. So you got 57 altogether. Guess what his new name was when he first came into my Hangout live yesterday? Want me to shut it down and go to his Hangout and have a debate. Make that 58 accounts now. That was the name of his next account. I got the bitch boy running, man.
Yeah.
I got him running. But the nice thing about it, they're leaving the big guys alone. So bring it on, big boys. That's the best you got. Bring it on.
So will you go to the first of his pages? You know, you've got two lists of, let me zoom in on some of these, okay? And I'm just going to read some of the titles, guys.
You want to start top or?
Yeah, at the top. So Jeremy Wartnaby, I'm going from the center to the right. An unemployed clown in my, who knows? Bored of you twats now. Caring the community for something. Day, blah, blah. Dale, you're a disgraceful. Educating Martin. Even dolphins know it's a faithful disciple of the church. Fuck you, dumb cunt. Wallow. Will you scroll? Yeah. So, faithful disciple of the church. Gem Panda 2019. Gem Panda 2021. Gem Panda the disciple of the. Gem Panda the fundamentalist. Gem Panda the unbannable. Gem Panda the untimeoutable. What kind of mentality, guys, does... So, this is what I'm starting to think, Hillbilly, and I mean this totally sincerely. You know, we used to have the term retarded. It used to be used because there are people whose development stops at a point. So when you get, say, a 14-year-old who his mentality doesn't carry on evolving or molding itself to the world, so he doesn't change to 15 and 17 and 20 and 25. You know, he doesn't accommodate new experiences like normal humans do. So that person would be called retarded to the age of 14. Now, those people, they get to be 40 and 50 and 60, but they still have that mentality. Now, I'm not sure how old Gem Panda is chronologically, but if you look at the names here, it looks like mentally he's at around the age of 14, 15, maybe. And I mean that genuinely and sincerely. I think Gem Panda is literally retarded.
Well, he claims to have a business, is what he tried to tell me the other day.
That doesn't matter. If you think about
this is beyond a shadow of a doubt the fact that it runs so often that if he's got a business, his business is Earth's discussion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But the thing is, even you can have people who are retarded that have their own businesses. You know, they can learn new skills. They just can't accommodate broader experiences mentally. So they don't grow. There's, you know, the cognitive processing doesn't function like that. They can learn new skills, you know, but they can't accommodate new experiences that would make your intellect grow.
Yeah.
And that's we used to call people with that kind of that kind of retardation retarded, because that's genuinely the meaning, that they were retarded. And I think going from the names here, like genuinely, I think that he's retarded, you know, or arrested development, you know, or I forget what the more PC name is, but it's retarded.
Well, you can only wonder why they don't, or they hold me to the very higher standards. It doesn't matter where you go. If you go looking at legislation, they'll hold you to a higher standard than they hold the president of the U.S. or United States. You look at foreign affairs, they'll hold you to a higher standard than they hold UN or APAC. Here, they're holding us to a higher standard, to NASA, an agency they spend $50 million a day on. Figure that one out. Give me $50 million just for one day, and I'll go the freak away.
Globebusters is in the chat. He's put a link to the page to Gem Panda's whole history, what you're showing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'd like to have an updated version since last night. I got him on the run. He won't come up to me. He won't even answer a simple question how he stands on Sandy Hook or 9/11. I'd love to bitch slap him on either one. I know I could.
So I'm going back into his thing to see.
You screen share now. Unscreen share me so I can bring my browser up.
Okay, one second. Okay, presenting myself now. So this is what happens with people like Gem Panda. You find something out about them that everybody knew he has sock puppet accounts, but that he had that many. It does tell you that, you know, if you get a video and you get like 100 thumbs down, it can be as simple as him and another pal with 50 accounts each going in there and thumbing it down if they want. Not that it matters. Okay, what were you doing now, Hillbilly?
I just want to bring chat up real quick.
All right, cool. So I'm going to put it over to you. 1 second.
Well, you know, I wish that they would man up to the very standards, because that could very simply bring an end to this stupidity of YouTube. The fact that they won't tells you they know it would kill a paycheck in some aspects. I have absolutely no proof. I get upset when people make these very claims without proof in my room about other flat earthers. But in this case, we're not talking about flat earthers. We're talking about people who troll you intentionally. They have to have an agenda, or they are willfully ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
Wife,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back over there one more time. See, there they are. Is that the best they can do? What a shame. They want
Oh, man. Look, Joe, this is precious. Negatorex is there saying, remember Antonio, Magnetus and Ben's light, right? Yes, Magnetus and Ben's light. Go and look at Theoria Apothesis and watch his little magnet showing light bending.
Maybe Negator's man enough to take a link and come in and debate it.
No, he's not. He's not. But, you know, I'll offer him to... Oh, there's some cool sound going on there.
cool sound coming through my mic.
No idea, but there was a kind of pretty cool sound.
I was rocking a little bit. Maybe I had my monitor lid rocking.
No. It was like I don't know. There was like a rhythm to it. It sounded like there it is again.
I bet it was more than 25 trolls got whacked yesterday, Johnny. Man, it's hard to count them. If you was counting them, you was better than man than I was. It wasn't worth my time to count them, but there was a lot of them. There ain't no doubt about it.
Oh.
Why did they come to my room and troll it, and now they're not man enough to debate in my room? Does that make any sense to anybody who practices common sense with a little bit of maturity and respect? Oh, they're not man enough to do it in the street. We all know it. We've all heard it before. I'm not original on that and don't claim to be. But it's kind of funny. The statement itself is true. They're not man enough.
No.
Neil deGrasse, like Jaron pointed out today on Globebusters, Neil deGrasse will never do it. Bill Nye will never do it. You think, gosh, what's the guy in the wheelchair's name again? Hawkins, Stephen Hawkins. You think Stephen Hawkins going to debate you? Give me a break. You may have better luck having Jim Panda debate me. It's just kind of sad.
Yes. So listen, Hillbilly, I really think we're just going to end up wasting time if we're there trying to get them to come. They're not going to come. That's absolutely definite. They're not going to come and debate us.
No, they would already been here.
Yeah, I mean, they know that they don't have anything. Did you see the last time Negatorix was trying to show me and you, I think it was, how with circles and a person with a torch running around and another person with a torch, and it's just this ridiculous, crappy example that didn't work, and he had to give it up and apologize for it. I made a video out of it. I took it from the Hangouts, and it was on Gem Panda's channel. So they're not going to come and debate. But listen, did you want to tell me more? Oh yeah, you were going to tell me about Nathan Oakley.
Oh, yeah. Nathan's been trying to seem kind of pushy to me. Some people know that I had a small problem in my room and I took away some mods wrench. I can't have mods fighting with mods. So I took away a couple people's wrenches. I'm sorry if that hurt their feelings, but that's the way I got to run my room. I hope they respect that. But here, Nathan Oakley seemed kind of busy, and he told me about Jim Panda is a smart guy and I should have to listen to him. I should have to listen to a guy that needs that many accounts. And here we got P-Mars Hangout of all people. And here's old Nathan Oakley in it. I asked the very question. I seen he was in my text. Wonder why Nathan Oakley would be another person who's admittedly trolled me, recorded jumping on my Hangout when I never sent him the link. The best his intelligence will allow him is to put on a thumbnail where he's got his finger up his nose. I know I get in character, but I had no need to stick my finger up my nose. Jesus. And here's old Nathan Oakley hanging out with them in a room full of 6 or 7 individuals.
Yeah.
I asked a simple question. And I never got a reply. It was a simple question.
What was your question? Do you remember it?
Wonder what Nathan Oakley's doing hanging out in a room full of trolls.
I think he's burnt so many bridges with flat earthers. I mean, you can see just from the fact that he's having to re-interview people. You know, what he used to do was like Patricia, he used to interview people. He used to interview flat earthers and that's what he did. And he's interviewed people, and now it seems like he doesn't really have many people that will be interviewed by him. So it looks to me like he's having to kill time, just kind of hanging out with Globling. That's what it looks like to me.
I know he's defended Jim Panda, and here he is in P. Mars' room. That's pretty low, but hey, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's not my standards. I'm here because P. Mars started trolling me. Anybody knows I do research. If somebody's trolling me, I'm researching them back. This individual here one time wanted to settle an IQ argument by game of poker. Pros will admit poker is better than 51% of the game. You can have a pair of aces beat very easily by a 2 and a 5, and you could end up 3 of a kind. And he thinks that's going to settle an intelligence test.
What? Okay, so that just tells you he's not very freaking bright.
No, no.
He's like, how about we settle it by throwing dice?
Best he can do is come up with an argument. As you gain elevation, the horizon would never extend on a globe. Bull crap. Do it on a board. Lay your eye down on a board. Get down on the ground. Lay your eye on a board. Then stand up and you'll see that board's 8 feet long.
Hey,
it's simple.
There's Rory McFaith. I've sent him a link. I don't know whether he'll join us, but I sent him a link to join us because he had something interesting to tell us. So this is what happens with the Globelings. Their arguments are incredibly lame, and because there's so much association with flat earthers, watching other flat earthers, chatting with other flat earthers. Oops, there goes the link. Because it doesn't matter if it gets cut, we'll just restart. It's no biggie. Because there's so much association, so much information gets passed around by flat earthers. All the globe arguments, if you can't think of a counter argument or debunk it immediately, there are other people that have debunked it, or they will say, oh yeah, well, that the 8 inches per mile curvature, per mile squared curvature doesn't work, and then they drop that argument, and they're running out of argument. They don't have further arguments, so they'll move to gibberish, like what that guy just said to you about the horizon not extending.
Yeah. Well, all of their theories can be debunked. We've all heard it before. Coriolis, gravity still a theory. After 500 years, most pieces of legislation have what's known as a sunset clause, letting you know when that piece of legislation would happen to have an expiration date. There's no theories on sunset clauses on gravity. That's why it remains a theory after 500 years. Facts are provable.
Yeah.
Tangible objects will always be tangible objects. For every action, there should be an equal or greater reaction. Ask yourself, what's the reaction of gravity if it's a force? There is none.
It's the only magical one, that's it. Just give me one miracle and the rest I'll fill in the blanks. Did you watch? Yeah, you watched Globebusters about the Air Force repeating the Michelson-Morley experiment in 1986.
Was that what that first half hour was? I missed the first half hour.
I don't think it was.
That lady called in.
Half hour. Yeah, it was after. It was after the lady called in. Which I thought was a little bit. At one point, I smell a rat. And I'm not saying that Bob or Jaren or anybody would be bringing in a rat, but that woman was freaking dodgy. When Morgal said to her, Jaren asked Morgal before wrapping up with the woman, he asked the Morgal if he had any questions for her, and the Morgal said, I've got about a dozen. And he goes, all right, well, go ahead. So the Morgal talks to her and asks her if she can hear him, and Jaren asks her, and she says no. So then Bob comes on, and Bob asks her if she can hear him, and she says no. How can you be saying no to a guy who's just asked you if you can hear him? And it was like immediately, like if you said to me now, can you hear me? And I said no. It's like, yeah, I think you can hear. So then Jaren tweaks some dials or whatever, and the Morgal comes back on and says, okay, now can you hear me? And there's a break, there's a freaking pause while she's thinking, should I pretend that I can't hear him, or should I? No, I'll say yes. And she says yes, but there's a big long pause. She knows that what's going on is Jaren is trying to fix audio. So the minute she hears from Morgal, hey, can you hear me? She say, yeah, now I can hear you, but not, yeah, I smell a freaking rat, people. And I know that in the chat in Globebusters, there were loads of people. At that point, there were lots of people going, that was a bit weird. Bob says, can you hear me? And she says, no. Nah, something dodgy there. My opinion.
Yeah, they got some pretty. Another argument P-Mar gave keeps on going to the Cavendish experiment, right?
Oh God, so, what for?
I don't know. So I come up logically, right? I said, P-Mar, why does the moon orbit the Earth instead of the Earth orbit the moon? Duh. The bigger object always attracts the smaller object. That was his question. I said, thank you, P-Mar. Now, what was the bigger object between those two little balls balls versus the one ball and the earth beneath it. He didn't see it common sense.
Yeah.
They say that you know, he was looking through holes in a wall. Has nobody never covered up their eyes and seen the parallax that goes on when you look out of one eye at a time versus the other eye? How it gets, everything shifts just a little bit.
Yeah.
There's no way that it could have been an accurate experiment.
The guy was literally, again, retarded. Like he genuinely was retarded. I don't know if you know about this.
Oh, I did not know that. No, sir.
Yeah, Cavendish. Yes, and wait, I'm not gonna say retarded. Maybe this might offend people. I hope it doesn't. But from the descriptions of him as a person, it sounded like he had pretty severe Asperger's, if not autism. As in, people were not allowed to speak to him. Okay, so even when he was at the astronomical meetings, people would have to ask somebody else to ask him. Yeah, just qualities about him that say autistic. You know, like really, like the fact that he wouldn't describe the experiment to anybody else. Just these things. Yeah. So where lots of us are thinking charlatan, I'm thinking autistic. Autistic just didn't figure out that parallax has an effect. He just didn't figure it out, and nobody could explain it to him, because especially if they couldn't speak directly to him. Messages had to be passed to him through his secretary, I think it was, who would have to stand there telling him, "Oh, Jeffrey just asked if you want some more tea." So Jeffrey, yes, Jeffrey. That was Cavendish.
And these are the heroes of the people trolling.
Yes. Hey, Billy, unless you display your camera, everybody's just gonna see my face because I'm displaying you. But I mean, you can't display your camera. You can display whatever you like, but it's gonna be freaking boring for people. Yeah. So.
Oh, not that.
No, it's okay. Oh, never mind. Damn, what was I gonna say? Yeah, woman. I thought it a little bit dodgy, and I'm sorry to say this. I think that she worked for Lockheed Martin and that she had that history, you know. But I do. I've seen her photographs and stuff. But I just think, could somebody who worked for a company that worked for NASA be wanting to go back to working for NASA by saying, "Hey guys, I could infiltrate this flat Earth movement and write your reports. You pay me, let's establish some payment scheme, and I'll give you reports." Says Mr. Conspiracy Theory. Okay, there you go. That's better. Google. So yes, that's what I thought of that woman. I thought that there was something characteristically wrong with the way the woman responded to Bob and Jerenis. Also, I know that from somebody else that she approached somebody else 6 months ago, asking this somebody else to get her in contact with, you know, the top brass, inverted commas. So dodgy person.
So what did she actually say when she called in? When I got there, I just heard, I think Morgal asking, or Jaren was asking if she was breaking a gag order.
Yeah. Well, the most kind of astounding thing that I heard was that some people from NASA didn't believe in the moon landing, but it was all anecdotal stuff that other people, you know, it was interesting to listen to. But when towards the end where John and Bob wanted to speak to her, at that point, I thought, oh dear, just my spidey sense kicked in.
Have you heard of Project Loon?
Yeah. Hey, did you see the video of the of the balloon launched by NASA in Australia that just totally crashed as they were launching it and wrecked a car?
Oh no, I didn't see it. I know SpaceX was supposed to be bringing one back that left a shuttle today. I imagine it should be back, and get this. SpaceX is said to have had the technology to land on a barge now, right? Hey, is that not their claims?
Yeah, they've already done it a couple of times.
So why are they splashing down in the ocean?
Yeah. Hey, here's a thought. Should we land somewhere nice and stable, or should we land in the ocean? Let's land in the ocean.
You know, when you go back and look, I do gotta go back and look. I was beginning to think of it. The lunar modules that came back in the oceans from the Apollo missions, once they splashed down in the ocean. Now, from memory, I haven't went back and confirmed yet, but from memory, also I can remember some Navy SEALs in a paddle boat paddling out to them in the high seas. being that the capsule just allegedly went through the Van Allen belt, you would think that they have some sort of radio protective gear on instead of just scuba gear or whatever they had on. But I do want to go back and confirm that. Maybe somebody could answer in checks. I don't know. You know, Antonio?
What was that?
Whether the scuba divers, don't it make sense if you knew that a space capsule just went through radiation that you would approach it with radiation protective material on?
Oh, yeah, when they landed back from the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I don't remember the divers doing that. I would just remember Navy SEALs. Maybe I can try to find it real quick. Apollo moon return. Apollo return.
Ace McLeod is in the chat asking for a link. Ace, go to Skype. I'll pass you a link through Skype.
I hate to go to one and give you a copyright strike.
For what?
Trying to find the moon landing. Apollo returns back to Earth. Let's see what the retrievers to the space capsule are wearing. See if they're wearing radio protective suits. Been thinking about it for a couple weeks. I've never done it. Now I've done it.
It'll be fine.
Helicopter retrieval. No problem, boys. Take your time. Just sitting here bobbing around. Bob. Yeah, scuba diver.
Hey, wasn't the phone call from the president magnificent? From the president all the way to the 11 on its way to the moon.
Yeah, hardly no hesitation.
No delay.
Nothing that, yeah.
Yeah, totally fine. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, straight to the aircraft. Nobody's got no radio protective gear on, but they treat him like he's got radioactive material. The fakery.
You have to say it was an amazing con job. I mean, it was just, in terms of how to con the world, these guys were expert.
Would you ever approach something that just came out of a radiation belt like that without radioactive protective?
I'd probably go and lick it. No, yeah, you wouldn't. And it just, so the guys who are collecting them, all they need to do is they need to tell the people, look, they've been through the radiation belt, so they could be radioactive. They'll have to be in this chamber. Look at this footage of them in this chamber, right? And then
animated. At least they're telling the truth. Animated.
Yeah, and then, but the rest of it is like, look at them being rescued now. They've just landed in the ocean. Here they are being rescued. They just don't mention the radiation bit in terms of, you know, whether it's ionizing radiation and it's going to pass on to the freaking pilot and the other people. So I have Haunted House telling me to check Skype. Why, Jonathan Vincent? He's past the video. Am I still there or have I dropped?
Oh.
Oh, right. No, I'm still there. It's just passed me a video of a satellite crashing in the jungle. So what I'm going to do, Hillbilly, is I'll pass it to you. It's from Martin D. Meldubelis. So Martin D, thank you very much. He's a good guy. He won't issue a copyright strike. So I'm going to pass it here and you, in the Skype chat here to you, and then you play it, okay?
All right.
So let me just pass it to you and then display myself. And there you go. Huh? That's strange. Oh, very interesting.
How many times are they going to show it?
Say again?
Live from recovery helicopter. Get that close. Come on, let's see what the divers are wearing.
This is another thing, okay? So the further you go from the surface of the Earth, the weaker the gravity is, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and the thinner the atmosphere.
Correct.
So why would a space vehicle need so much propulsion to escape Earth's gravitational pull, given that once it's maybe 10, 15 miles off the surface, the gravitational pull is much weaker. Another 50, another 100, another 200 miles off the surface, Earth's gravitational pull would be negligible, and they would then fade out into space. They wouldn't have to force their way out. And then why would they have to force their way back in? You know, they're coming from nothingness. Like I said in a video recently, it would be the mildest, most gentle transition imaginable. And I'm saying, every time I say imaginable, I chuckle in my head like a crazy person, because it, you know, this whole atmosphere going to nothingness. So coming into it, they could just come in really slowly. They wouldn't need any heat shielding on the shuttle. They wouldn't need loads of power. In fact, they could just glide in, drift in, just let gravity pull them. In fact, maybe even use a little bit of energy to kind of let gravity pull them a bit more gently. Oops. Nope, I'm not answering that. Don't know who that was. Sorry about that.
According to Project Loon, their balloons run into a neutral buoyancy approximately 12.5 miles up.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that the spacecraft has less mass and greater density. So would that be at a lower altitude for it to require the extra energy? My guess would probably say yes. I don't know. If I was a plate.
Well, it would be either less altitude or more altitude, but either way, they'd reach a point where the Earth's gravitational pull would be literally negligible.
Yeah.
So what's all this having to escape velocity? That sounds like, jargon to make it sound exciting. Escape velocity. Oh, wait a second. What is this escape velocity? When you let go of a helium balloon, it doesn't speed up extra fast to go up in the atmosphere. It kind of goes up nice and mellow and gently. And if you were leaving the atmosphere in a spacecraft, you need power to get up. But once you're traveling at a certain distance, you could probably even just switch your power off and kind of mellowly glide out of the atmosphere into the imagination of space. So I call bullshit on all of that. And the next time I'm debating any kind of globaling, I'm going to ask them to explain it to me. By the way, Hillbilly, I've put the link here in the chat to the video that Jonathan passed, which is
me off.
Yeah, 1 second. Okay, presenting me to everyone. It's of one of the balloons crashing in the jungle. Okay, I'm presenting me now, so you're safe, I hope.
This is one of their loon balloons crashing.
Have a look.
Satellite looks awful big if this is the satellite.
So,
but that would just be its solar panels, though, too.
Well, that looks like a balloon.
Yeah. I'm saving this link.
Did you just?
Where was this at? Does it say in the description where it was at?
I don't know.
No, maybe you got it down here in comments anywhere. Where'd you find it? And somebody asked it. Where'd you find it?
It's in Martin's.
Jesus made an interesting. Yeah, I've been talking about Project Loon for about 2 weeks now. There was one of them crash. They said they could keep them up for 190 days if they wanted to, people. No, they try to recycle them every 100 days according to their own claim. In their claim, they claim that they got it down to a science to where they can land them in a designated area, such as Project 51 maybe, someplace where they can't be seen, and they retrieve them and recycle them. They can launch up to, they strive to get one every 20 minutes from every launching device they have. They never have a video disclosing exactly how many launching devices they do have, but they do sort of lean toward the idea they got multiple units. And each unit is capable of launching it while they strive for 20 minutes, but guaranteed every 30 minutes to launch a satellite balloon that has a lifespan of approximately 100 days. They also emit in their emission that it's nothing more than its ground-based technology lift up in the air. It flies above commercial airline traffic at approximately 12.5 miles. They claim that they got the stratosphere down to where they just designate a balloon. They can evidently just elevate just enough to catch jet stream going back in the other direction. So one balloon just more or less hovers on a direction, goes down, goes to east or whatever case may be, then goes up after so much distance, goes west, back to the same original distance. That's the way they show their demonstration anyways.
Well, that means that the air currents up there, that what's causing the movement up there is regular. Otherwise, it's veering off massively. Hillbilly, I passed you another link here. You will love this one in the chat. Let me present myself. This one. I don't think they'll be recycling this one, the one that you're about to show. It's in the chat here.
And Project Loon doesn't actually say stationary Earth, but it does say it sends a signal down to a stationary receiver. Well, it's mobile. It's mobile units. How can it be stationary if it's your mobile telephone, your mobile internet, rural internet? How can it be mobile or stick? You guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
Got a little. All right, you're not sharing me, right?
No, I'm not sharing you. Bob made an expression today that I thought, oh, I like that one. Brain cramp. You know, when you get that, you can't get to what you were going. Wait, before you play it, let me present to everyone. This is freaking brilliant, people. It's from the Associated Press. I don't know if you can play it with volume, but it doesn't matter. Just watch.
Don't show me, and I'll turn my volume over.
Okay. And it's the Associated Press. I'm sure they wouldn't do issue us a copyright strike if you make it full screen, you know.
Okay, you got me not showing?
I'm showing you, yeah. Do you want to make it full screen and rewind it? This is NASA people launching a balloon. Watch, launching a satellite. There goes that car.
Rips that car right in half. Boom!
There you go. That's how you launch a satellite.
All right, don't present me. I want to hear this.
Okay,
if we're gonna listen to it, if you don't mind.
Okay, wait.
You sure you ain't gonna get copyright strike?
I'm pretty sure. So I'm presenting myself if you want to do any changes and stuff, but I want to hear this too. I mean, I've heard it. It's freaking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The NASA scientist there on a launch. Shit, dude, he just messed my car up. What the? Oh. No volume, hillbilly. There's no sound coming out here.
Move it out of the way, and we were sitting in our car and preparing to move it out of the way, and we actually were within about a foot of being wiped out, I think.
There was a great slam, and there was large pieces of white debris flying through the air everywhere, and basically that was it. It was just an instance of chaos outside.
Will you play it again? I think that guy meant to say there were pieces of white satellite.
Get out of the way.
No. To the start where you can see it smashing into things.
We were sitting in our car and preparing to move it out of the way, and we actually were within about a foot of being wiped out, I think.
There was a great slam, and there was large pieces of white debris flying through the air everywhere, and basically that was it. It was just an instance of chaos outside.
Well, that went wrong, didn't it? Oh, we have no audio from you, Hillbilly. I don't know if you're changing your audio over. Oh, so what did you think of that? NASA scientists and technicians for you.
It's hilarious, wasn't it? See it trash that car.
There were pieces of white debris. You know, the guy wanted to say, satellite? Was that a satellite? That thing.
You know, something I was thinking about, all these pictures that people are taking with double suns. Wonder if it could be one of these balloons illuminated. I don't remember nobody making no claims of double suns when I was a kid. And the satellite technology said to happen, or research on it started when I was a kid. But flat Earth wasn't a theory it was a theory. It was just one that was still buried under the rug, thanks to no release of an internet yet.
Yeah, who knows, dude? We keep really messing up. I don't know what's sending the link out left, right, and center. It's me. Sent me to everyone. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna put a link to this video so people can just watch it over and over and over. I would love to have the audio of the guys in the crane, the technicians, going, "Oh no, my balloon!"
I was trying to see if there was a NASA marking on it. When it rotates around, I thought I seen a flash of something blue. There's no doubt NASA paints all their stuff white if it gets a paint job, and that's, you want to blend in. You guys should look like your background.
Well, what I did to find it was I did NASA balloon launch crash. In the description to the video, it says the launch of a giant space balloon I didn't know
But this,
balloons in space. That's from the Associated Press. The launch of a giant space balloon went badly wrong on Thursday in the Australian outback when a heavy payload of scientific equipment broke from its mooring, slamming into a vehicle and narrowly missing bystanders. I'm going to put a link to it in the chat on YouTube.
there's something blue hanging up top of his valve takeoff.
Hilarious.
It'd been funnier if took out poor John along with it.
Dude, imagine if those people had died. What the news? It's horrible thought. I shouldn't be laughing, but I can just imagine the obituaries.
Go ahead.
The obituaries. Jeffrey was enamored of space. And it's ironic that he should be killed by a space balloon satellite. Yeah. By the way, tell Ace. Oh, I was going to tell Issa to tell Ace McLeod that I'm not passing the link in Discord. I hate Discord. I like order, calmness. No, that program Discord, I'm not using it. No, I'm not buying it. So no thanks. So if Ace wants a link, he can sign into Skype, and I will pass the link there.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody apparently, Slice Barcane has thrown down the gauntlet. I don't know much.
Well, time to come on in.
No, I need to look into it. I don't know much about it.
They came to me. They came to you. Let them come in. They ain't man enough.
Yeah.
I think I'm about done with them. I can only laugh their ignorance.
Yeah. Copy link. Sorry, I'm just doing some admin, passing links. And there's also overthought. Usually I pass links to people that I've already spoken to before. That are.
I know of him here. Spoke to him first time last night. Poncho's Pete.
All right. Is he a good guy? I think he's a good guy.
27-year-old kid. Yeah, I truly believe he thinks they're slack.
Okay, then there goes the link. I'm going to pass him a link then.
Yeah, what up, y'all?
Easy, man. What up, friend?
Yeah, what up, yo? Antonio, you're a boss, brother. How you been, man?
All good.
Hillbilly, I see you throwing them down there today, too. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Yo, it's funny because I got negged to admit that they finally used plane trigonometry for sailing.
Yeah.
It was like pulling teeth. Fucking it was like, I started looking into, what's so crazy? I don't know. Forgive me if I'm interrupting. Am I interrupting? Most likely.
Yeah,
Totally. Full on. Flat earth, interrupting everything. Plane sailing. They just throw out whimsically in the study of plane sailing that 600 nautical miles should be treated as flat.
Yeah, of course.
That's just
because it is.
Of course. But it blew my mind to think like these assholes they've painted themselves into a corner so unbelievably tight. I think because it's so funny to watch scramble.
So you've heard Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah. Huge for the state.
What he says is, these 600 nautical miles is flat, and he says he drives across the US and it's flat. He drives up the US and he's saying the same thing but over land.
Yeah. Oh, and when you get to that Midwest in the United States, I mean, you couldn't ask for more flatness. The way that it appears to me is like land is like it's like an ocean heading out to the west, and it rises up into the Rockies in some kind of like a wave, and then it crashes into the Pacific. So it's like, weird. Like it's like this flat line from here. I'm on the east coast of U.S. all the way out to the Rockies, and then it rises up like a wave. The altitude elevates, everything elevates, and then it crashes into the Pacific. It's freaking beautiful.
It is. Hey, we have Overthought here.
What's up, brother?
You're muted, by the way.
You're not presenting me, are you?
Hi, guys. I just got a phone call, sorry.
That's all right. Good to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Hillbilly, I'm not presenting you. You're safe. I'm presenting Overthought. How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
All good. What's that you have to the right on the screen here? Is that a mic or is it some kind of...
Oh, it's a mic, yeah.
All right. I thought it was some kind of huge Tesla device that you might have behind you, What the hell is that?
It's a Tesla coil I designed myself. love now.
Yeah, cool. I see you like Bruce Lee over there.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Do you play the guitar as well? Is that an amp? I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play drums, guitar.
Cool.
Yeah. I have some vocal covers on my. That's the only content I have is just music stuff.
Cool.
And then I have playlists.
So you're 27, I heard, or thereabout. Yeah. And you're a flat earther.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's a flat earther. Everybody is a flat earther.
In the sense that it's so easy to see how stupid the ball model is. It's when you step back and look at it, it's surrealism.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So.
When you got to rely on your own senses and first-hand knowledge, and only an intelligent person would or unintelligent person would take secondhand knowledge over first-hand knowledge. So once you rely on that, if we was given the opportunity to be educated on both theories and let those aspects of your own senses make up the determination, we would all be flat earthers.
Mm-hmm.
They can show me how surface tension can bend the edges of water as they slowly fill up a glass of water over its boundaries. Surface tension until volume tension gets great enough, it will crown up on the edges. But we're talking across the top of that baby. It's flat. Water can only be measured to be flat in any aspect. 72% of Earth's surface is water. So by all means, even all globers should be 72% flat earthers until they can prove that wrong. I can't prove it wrong.
Well,
They can't prove
you know
it
what?
wrong.
I've come up with an interesting question for these for the ballers, especially for the more enlightened, if you will, kind of types. You know, the truthers that just can't handle flat Earth. You know, derper derper. You know, like whatever. So like like those guys, I always say like, okay, so if you got cancer, would you do chemotherapy? And every single one of them said no. And I go, why? Because you don't trust modern medicine.
That's a good point.
What do you don't trust doctors?
Yeah, that goes to show you are dealing with somebody who's got intelligence. They know chemotherapy is a carcinogenic. Why would you want to take a carcinogenic?
Well, it's another. My point is, it's another government agency trying to trick you. Like, it's not that I give up. Like, it's not that like if you broke a leg, you wouldn't go to the hospital, like Morgile had mentioned. But it's actually I wanted to put the chat, but it's too. I don't know. Like,
Morgile broke his leg.
Well, no, he's just saying that if he did, he would go to modern medicine, but he's not going to trust fully in doctors. And I've drawn the parallel last couple of days about how, look, if you know, it's not that I don't trust doctors, scientists, and all that kind of stuff. It's just that they have a gaping window of a problem where their statistics, like, you know, let's say much like chemo, it's not working. Like it becomes a point where you're like, no, dude, I'm not doing chemo. I'll do anything but that. And that's how flat Earth is like flat Earth is anything but NASA. Thank you very much.
Yes. Hey, Hillbilly, I've put another link here in the chat if you want to play the video. It might seem a bit silly at first, but when you pay attention, you see it was passed to me as an email. Somebody passed it to me with an email. It's very interesting. And I don't think I'll get a copyright strike because the person that's got it on obviously hasn't got a copyright strike. But if I do, I do. You know, I don't live in fear. So tell me, have it queued, Hillbilly. It's in the chat here. And it relates exactly to what you were saying, Hillbilly, and to what you were saying, Isa. What the Morgul said was if he was to be run over by a car again, he would probably go to a hospital, you know, for things like bones and whatever. No, that's not it. It's in the chat. Yeah, that's it. The Winnie the Pooh. Will you rewind it to the beginning?
Opposition.
Wait, Hillbilly. Will you?
No. Your ears, your nose, your eyes. Putting faith in them.
Will you play it from the beginning and play it large? I'm going to go for a pee. I've watched it. But pay attention to what's being said, people. Let me present you to everyone. Wait. Put it back to the start, Hillbilly, please.
Excuse me? The way to there is over here.
But Rabbit, isn't that them over there?
Now, which are you going to believe? This official map or your own eyes? Look for yourself and you'll see we're right on course. It's all right there in black and white. Why would anyone want to wander around wondering which way to go when they have a map to follow? A map is not a guess, an estimation, or a hunch. So we don't need to fret about it. If it says so, so it is.
So I
Another
thought,
piece of indoctrination.
yeah, but if you notice what's actually happening is you have the little cretin rabbit, the most dislikable character in Winnie the Pooh, the authoritarian or the one who defers to authority.
Pooh was threatened. Pooh was threatened.
No, wait. Rabbit is the idiot, and that's the one that defers to authority. And Pooh is the one that all the children like. And Rabbit is always contradicting and correcting Pooh, and Pooh is always right. Yeah. So really, if it's actually molding the minds of children, it's to not listen to authority. That's what it's molding the minds of children to.
Word up, man. I think those guys were geniuses that made all that shit. Like they, I think a lot of people when they think, like, or forgive me to cut in, but it's like everyone says like, okay, Freemasonry is bad, and if they're a Mason, they're bad. But I think that's to say that that's to generalize Freemasonry. What if this is Freemasonry? In my opinion, was built to. If we can all agree, maybe that the people working at Disney were Freemasons as well. Let's say, then there's certain sects of that group, of those groups, that understand that it has always been wise men that have been attacked by the what they've referred to as the unwashed masses with their pitchforks. So I think there's this hidden group, but there's guys that like you just pointed out that are kind of subliminally teaching you don't listen to authority.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the one side is that it's all bad, but what they're like you just pointed out, it's actually subliminally telling you trust your ears. Thumper doesn't know, Thumper's the one who knows usually, right?
Yeah, but there's also this. If you think about it, what you were saying about chemo, the world has turned out to be a place where the ones who are going to kind of shuffle off this mortal coil the quickest are going to be those that defer to authority and get the chemo, because all the other guys aren't going to. They're going to read
the thing though, that's the I mean, I look at it as almost like, that's the measure of what are you. Like I've talked about the idea that if I ask somebody, are you a human being, and they say yes, well, does that change the legal definition of human being to be a monster? I mean, it is a monster. If you self-identify as the monster, if you're going to go and choose the chemo and not think for yourself, I think they look at it like good riddance, asshole.
Yeah. Hey, somebody in chat, Persian Scribe, just pointed out that Tigger in Winnie the Pooh jumps real high, but never saw the curve. I bet. Hey, I've got somebody sent me a picture of their mother's journey from Auckland to Brisbane of a 3-hour flight that wasn't 3 hours. It was 2 hours and 15 minutes. And from Auckland to Brisbane, and Brisbane is 3 hours away in terms of time, so she left at 6 p.m. and arrived at 6:15 p.m. This is a completely shifting topics, but what's going on there? How's that working? That's an hour.
She went from where?
Huh?
She went from what departure to what arrival?
From Auckland to Brisbane, Australia, which is north of Sydney. So if that's 3 hours difference, if there's 3 hours difference, there isn't in the real world. There's not 3 hours difference. There's 2. But let's imagine that there was 3 hours difference in the real world. That would mean that solar noon would change over a period 3 times, 3 equidistant locations between Auckland and Brisbane, which would mean that they were 3,000 miles away from each other. They're not, unless the sun moved over the tropic, the equator, or the globe rotated at 500 miles an hour, because the distance is 1,500 miles between the two.
1,500 miles
is the distance. If the Earth rotates at 1,000 miles an hour,
that'd be 500 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be a 3-hour trip.
It is. Well, it was just less than a 3-hour trip. But the thing is this: if the Earth is rotating at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator,
okay,
then the sun, if it was casting a shadow, which it would at solar noon, the 3 hours difference would mark 3,000 miles, not 1,500.
You'd be talking east to west. That would be longitude.
What the hell? Sorry, guys. Somebody keeps calling.
Longitudes, not latitudes, and the no longitude line of separation is different. You'd have to know what longitude you was on to figure out the math on the heliocentric model. And then, have you ever noticed if you try to find radius or total circumference of the Earth depending on longitude lines north of the equator, you can do it. Try to do it south of the equator on an internet search.
I wonder if I was gonna say socially, like if they're like in chat, somebody was there talking about Shaq and stuff. Like you think these people are the most people out there, so like this is gonna be the most psychedelic fucking experience collective humanity has ever fucking experienced. I mean, it's like but unfortunately we got to watch out because like I think like we're almost gonna have to be like shamans, like walking people through the the spirit world, as David Weiss puts it. Like fucking just like holding their hand. You know what I mean? So they can deal with and 9/11 and chemo and fucking apricot seeds and fucking. It's like I feel so bad, folks.
Listen, guys, I have to tell you this. Okay, I don't know if you heard. Somebody was calling me on Skype. Yeah, did you hear?
Yeah.
Somebody called me on Skype. I'm like, what the hell? I'm on a hangout. So I'm like, hang up.
I knew it was safe.
Right. So I hang up and I look, and the guy, whoever it is, has written jerk. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I'm in a freaking hangout. What do you want? And it says, it's Ace. Serves you right for not saying who it is.
I love when Ace shows up. It's always like, hey.
Can you hear
What's
me?
up?
I'm driving.
That was so funny.
You jerk.
There he is. There he is. Scoundrel.
Hi.
Scoundrel, Ace.
I forgot that's a totally random Skype account.
Yeah, I'm like, some dude who's calling me while I want to hang out. And then I read your comments from you, like, jerk. Like, some mother that I don't even know is calling me names. You turn your camera on. Oh, there you are. Dude, what's going on? Are you going Bin Laden?
Yeah, check it out. Hold on, I'm not even wearing shoes. Oh, I'm such a bum.
You're such a hippie. Where are you at, Walmart?
No, I'm at a gas station, man.
Nice.
Getting some gas, some petrol. Be right back.
How's it going with the girlfriend?
Excellent, man. Can't be happier.
Have you still not told her that the Earth is flat?
No, I didn't even think about it today. I was going to mention it, but I forgot.
Ooh.
Because it just wasn't on the mind,
Well, dude, now what you could do is say, hey, have you heard about Shaquille O'Neal saying the Earth is flat? And see what.
Yeah, now you got excuse.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, there's a lot of segues now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, also, too, shout out to, what's his name, Infinite Plane Society. He's got a good idea going with April Fool's Day. Everybody saying, oh, wow, Flat Earth, like going nuts on their Facebook about like Flat Earth posts and their real opinions about Flat Earth. And then just play it off. Like, what do you mean? It was like, making the point that everyone will think it's a joke, but then possibly they will, because not many people are vocal like myself or Antonio or Hillbilly. They're not really talking about it, I would imagine. And so his idea was to April 1st, bomb everybody on all your social sites with flat earth information. So you always have that plausible deniability of, say, well, it was just April Fool's, motherfucker, what's up? But then he made a good point. And then you follow it up like a month later. Like, yeah, actually, you remember that post? I wasn't joking. But good idea. Shout out to Inflame, Cathexis, all those guys.
Get 10 strong facts together and then at the end say, I was only fooling April Fools. Well, no, you wasn't. What you just put made sense.
I'm going to do the total other way. I'm going to say, the Earth is a globe. And then, ha, 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 April Fool.
No. I thought you got to go concave, Antonio.
That guy, man. If he didn't have a pretty cool looking model, 3GI, CGI cool
technology,
he would have nothing at all.
Yeah, you know what it is? LSC is cool. I've been on some good talks with him, and he's someone that definitely inspires thought. But ultimately, like for myself and those of us out here, it's like almost like the conversation shape of the Earth. For me, not that it's entirely over, but it's like it's kind of just like, dude, can we just accept? like for me, I've been really on this idea of the dielectric plane of the full magnetic spectrum. And that dielectric plane to me says enough almost. Like it's like, wow, that makes total logical sense that we live on a plane. And like, I can't really go into the whole but light bends upward and derp. And I don't know, it's really I've done it. I just keep finding myself coming back to flat earth. But I could see you being having enough savvy followers that would be fun.
Well,
didn't Joseph Doherty, didn't your buddy Joseph Doherty go over there? I think he went to that side too, I heard.
Yeah, I heard that, but I don't know. Don't pay attention to
yeah, no, I hear you.
The Theoria Apophasis, the magnetism guy.
Yeah, Wheeler.
How is he not getting it? How is he not getting that?
Straight up, man. I talked to these electric universe guys, and they just don't get it. They think that the outside of the electromagnetic field is what they live on. They cannot look at it like they live on the dielectric plane. They're just like dirt. But I look almost, flat Earth is an invitation. Consider yourself lucky if you're amongst it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to Overthought. By the way, what's your name, Overthought?
Tyler.
Yeah. This dude's 27. How old are you, Ace? You're muted, by the way.
They might be getting the gas still.
All right. Okay.
I'm older. I'm you know what I mean? I'm 39 at this fucking point.
39. Ace, I think Ace is about 33. Jesus age.
Yeah, I just turned 34 actually, so unfortunately I don't get to rep the 33 anymore.
No, that's it. You made it past that. But we have a 27-year-old here, and we've had, there's been younger people too, but 27 is kind of different to 15, 27, world's starting to be more established. I can't imagine, to realize this at the age of 27, how awesome would that be?
That was the age I first ever started getting any kind of enlightenment. You know what I mean? It was around 27.
I thought you were going to say that was the age when you started getting any kind of good loving.
Let's see. No, unfortunately. No.
Yeah, think about it. Like 10 years ago, we had 9/11.
Whoa, feedback. Ace.
Oh.
Someone, maybe me.
No, it was Ace.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm muted.
At 27 or whatever, roughly for us, like 30, that's when we had 9/11. So it's like, a lot of us had a traumatic awakening, so it's like flat earth, I think. I don't know. I would hope it'd be a kinder awakening.
Yeah, I totally.
Well, that was 16 years ago. Sorry, Tyler. But yeah, that was 16 years ago, 9/11, right?
Yeah.
Yep. This year.
Yeah, when it hits September, it would be 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was in college and, I watched it on TV, of course. I don't know why. I didn't feel as emotional. I remember thinking to myself, I should feel worse than this, but part of me is just glad we're off school today. It was pretty fucking twisted, but it's just something about it, huh? It's like, how truth resonates with you, and I don't care if you want to say it's not true or not, but that's what makes people so up in arms to get in debates, because there is that truth that just some part of your soul recognizes, right? And I think when we see the fake shit on TV, maybe we partly recognize it as well, subconsciously.
Yeah.
What happened you over?
On 9/11, I remember seeing the thing, because it was being repeated over and over and over, and it kept cutting to black. And at one point, I remember turning to my mother and saying, why does it keep cutting to black? Notice, and then they talk about it and then they play it again. I said, look, it's going to cut to black. And it just a couple of frames black, but you could see, it hits, poof, black. Why is it doing that? It says, oh, Anthony, I don't know why it's doing that. I said, yeah, but the point was, why would it be doing that? Has the plane hit and sent some kind of pulse that's caused blackness for a split second? No, there's obviously something going on. Not only that, but it's been announced that the headquarters for command and control, the U.S. Army command and control, was moving to New York to the CNN building only months earlier. So what is this?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind the 2.3 trillion and the Pentagon gets hit in the one place. The SEC was in Building 7 along with the CIA. It's like, just stop.
Never mind Donald Rumsfeld the day before saying, if I go down for the missing trillions, I'm pulling a whole bunch of people with me. Then 9/11 happens and everyone forgets about that.
Oh shit, I didn't know he said that.
Yeah, well,
publicly.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
day
okay.
Day 1994 is when he released the information of the missing trillions of dollars from the defense Pentagon.
Yeah, and if you remember, guys, Dick Cheney was being scrutinized over the Enron thing, and Donald Rumsfeld and George Bush. There were big questions going on. Hey, hold on. These were the guys that were running Enron that did this huge scam, and now they're in government. And then suddenly, quick distraction, we've lost a whole bunch of money at the Pentagon, and then another big distraction. 9/11.
Wait a minute. The freaking Enron people has something also to do with 9/11?
No, the Enron people were Dick Cheney, George W. Bush, and Donald Rumsfeld. Those were the guys running Enron.
You know, it explains why I think like they did it early. I almost think like they like jumped the gun on their like grand plan because of something like that. And it makes me think, I've always kind of felt like that. Like if you look to history, I almost feel like if you calculated every 100 years, I almost feel like it would be a rundown of the 20th century. You know, 1908, there's a war, then you got another war, and then you got another war, and then you kind of fizzle out through the rest of the, you know, the change of the century, and then you start up another war. And so like, you know, that's
and then a war that just drags on forever.
Forever, yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I think. But I think they jumped the gun, like in their own programming. They jumped the gun, and it may have even created the glitch that allowed us to all wake up. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's almost like they fucked up their hypnotistic trance somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Almost like they went too far, right? It's like they
too early. They went like the tech for doing that 9. Like let's say the possible. You know, it's speculated that there was digital footage with the plane. Well, and then the same guy who made that technology was the head videographer of CNN, I think, at the time, right? So then, so you've got that going on. Imagine if it was like 3 or 4 years before they had the right tech or something. You know, like they didn't like. You know, I wonder if they jumped. I've always wondered that if they jumped the gun with that plan. I was curious with Over. How did you come into any of this information, and what was the first thing that woke you up?
Well, I was going to say first about 9/11. I was like 11 years old, like 6th grade. I was in my science class at the time, like right when it happened, and the whole school turned on the TV. Like every classroom turned on the TV. Everyone was tuned in. And was just like, I don't know, I didn't really, I mean, I was 11 years old and it was like, damn, that's crazy. But like, it wasn't that significant to me at the time. And I bought into everything that the news said about it. But just growing up, my dad really kind of prepped me for this type of stuff. He's always been into the Bible and the ideal that the world is evil, and just to be prepared and be aware of deception, basically. So I've always kind of questioned everything. And here in the past couple of years, I found a podcast called Stuff They Don't Want You to Know. And I was like, okay, that's cool. It's a conspiracy podcast, whatever. And I was interested in it. And one of their episodes, they brought up, it was about the flat earth theory. And I was like, I first seen the map. It wasn't the AE map. It was the one that was like upturned on the edges. I don't know what it's called. It's kind of concave, but it's not full concave. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah, it's kind of set square, and then it's got this shape.
Yeah, it comes up like a bowl almost.
I'm not sure what it's called, that one.
Okay, so
I like that one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But that's the first map I seen. It was on their page for the podcast. They talked about it a little bit and just fluffed it off like it was stupid. And I was extremely interested right off the bat. And I thought it was kind of silly, but I was still really interested at why people would think that. So at that point, I didn't really know where to look to find more information on it. So it just kind of dropped from my mind. And then a couple months later, a buddy I was hanging out with was like, dude, have you ever heard of the flat earth theory? And I was like, actually, yeah. And he told me about a guy that lives in the same town here. And he was like, yeah, he's like looking into it all the time. And like, I was like, wow, he wouldn't want to talk to me because like saying that I would shoot him down easily, you know, because I've always been into astronomy and to physics and stuff like that. So, you know, I did a research paper in high school on black holes and stuff. So I was bought into the whole idea of the model. And
The Durka theory.
Yeah.
Is this the one you seen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, it got brought up by talking to one of my buddies, talking about one of his friends, and then I just kind of dropped it again, but I was still interested. And one day my dad started sending us emails, like probably 10 people within our immediate family emails about some shit, just kind of conspiratorial, but also like leaning towards some other idea that we didn't even know what he was talking about. And I'm like, okay, he's obviously knows something that is weird or something. So I just called him and talked to him. I was like, hey, what's up? And he started bringing up Antarctica. And I was like, okay, what's your point? I'm like, just because they're blocking off Antarctica, so what? They block off other areas in the world. And so he slowly got me into it. And then I kind of picked up what he was throwing down and was eventually like, okay, I get what you're saying. I need to look into this for myself, because I was bringing up gravity and, you know, all these different theories and shit that they just keep layering on top of each other because they have to, because it's a ball. But yeah, and that's pretty much how it started, was from my dad. My dad just started looking into it because that's what he's always done. He's always questioned everything, and started looking into it, and it doesn't hold up. Doesn't seem like the globe holds up.
So how did your dad broach it to you and anybody else to whom he broached it? How did he broach the subject?
It was through emails, like sending videos. So one of the first ones I seen was the Mountain of Evidence, and that was probably 6 months ago. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the bigger ones. Yeah, it's a really good video, and that really, I was like, that really made me question.
Did you see how the Globelings tried to debunk it?
With the angle, right?
No.
Of the camera, or how did they try to debunk it?
They made a page. I have Globling friends who's when it was going on, not long after, maybe 2 weeks later, said, oh yeah, no, it's been debunked. Like, oh, has it? Yeah, look. So they showed me this website. It's a website made basically to debunk that video, or at least this portion of the website. What they were saying was he was looking the wrong way and he was looking at these other mountains instead. And it's like, wow, how a guy that goes mountaineering is not going to know and doesn't have a compass to know whether he's looking east or west or north or south. And he's just going to randomly think, oh, I think those might be them.
Yeah, so they're just claiming that what he's saying is wrong.
Yeah, well, they're saying it can't be real in the real world. Hopefully, there's some other mountains that this could be. Yeah. And yeah, they must be in that other region, in that other direction.
It's like, oh, pardon me, Billy, go on.
That's why I won't do the sea level experiment. The amount of cost in it, just make a video and put it on YouTube, be called a liar, because that's exactly what they'll do.
I was just gonna say that, Hillbilly. I told Neg, I go, they use plane trigonometry for navigations for thousands of years, and he goes, you're lying. It's like, yo, talk about like historical, like inaccurate.
Well,
check this out. Show me one map ever that would actually account for any kind of curve between a city, like say California and Florida. Show me one that would show you any kind of elevation change, or that accounts for the extra 1,000 miles worth of curvature that's not there.
What gets me with
straight line.
With the idea of plain sailing too, like I'm fascinated. So I have been a long time, but the idea of like you only ever travel, like what they propose is that 600 nautical miles should be treated as flat, but you only ever plot within 600 miles. So you're always only ever plotting something within, like nobody, like, you know what I mean? I mean, unless you're like a steam cruiser, and even then, not many people are driving steamships. I don't even think they calculate for curvature there, but they just tell people learning plain sailing about the globe, because you got to learn about meridians and all kinds of stuff like that. But like, they just are so off base historically and otherwise. And when you catch them out there, their only alternative is to try to call you a liar, just as Hillbilly said.
Yeah.
But I'm never surprised by that. I'm surprised that people get surprised by that.
Well, I always think, for me, if I'm going to say that somebody's dishonest, I'm not just going to say it. I'm going to show like somebody that is dishonest being dishonest. I'm going to show it. I'm not just going to say it. There's no point saying it. So this is when they do this, like people like Sly Sparkane or Gem Panda, okay? When they say it, what they're doing is what psychologists call projecting. They can't imagine, like Hillbilly offered to host them in a hangout, and they accused him of whatever they accused him of, which is basically of not having any integrity. Then it's like, what you're doing is you're saying to the world, I don't have any integrity, so I can't see integrity in other people. I can't imagine other people having integrity. And that's what they do. So they say, you're a liar. What they're saying is, I'm a liar. I lie. I generally lie. And you're telling me something, and you must also be lying, because that's how I am.
Yeah, the default must be a lie because they're a liar.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they got the double standards. They got multiple, what they don't want me or what they demand of me to do, they won't demand upon themselves to do.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of the channel Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah, I have. I haven't checked
He's
him out
in a
yet.
lot of comment sections.
Yeah.
He just comments, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He just says the same shit over and over about the different experiments, the Schehalian or whatever experiment with the mountain, and then Cavendish and gravity tubes. Or
yeah, that guy's been there. He's been there for 2 years, ever since I've known about this shit. Crazy.
Yeah, these guys have. I think I wanted to ask, like, any one of them. I was like, what is something that you produced originally? Like, have you ever made anything original? You know, like, let's say, like, I'm curious, because if you listen to, like, they have, if you go over to their channels, they have nothing to talk about. Like, they literally have nothing to talk about.
We just
so
Isa, at the beginning of this hangout, that's exactly what we did. Hillbilly and I, we went to this Earth discussion hangout that they were having.
Yo, ED, how did they not have the foresight to see ED?
Yeah, but wait. We went there, okay? We went there to say to them, hey, because what Gem Panda had done was he'd gone into Hillbilly's hangout and said, Hillbilly, how about you come to my hangout now and debate, right? Hillbilly's in the middle of a hangout.
After I already offered him 2 days in a row to come in and debate me, he come to troll my channel. I didn't go find him, and now that a debate's there, he wants me to go to his channel. No, you came and debated or trolled my channel, now debate me on my channel.
Yeah, no, they want the views on their channel that they want, and that's why I think they're almost riding.
Isa, they don't want the views on their channel. They want a gangbang on their channel where there's one flat earther and 7 globelings.
I went through it the other night. I was
No.
I was in Gem Panda's show the other night, serving them all up with a little bit of love. And what do you call it? Yeah, I got jumped by a bunch of ballers, and I always look at it like those are good odds, guys.
Yeah,
Take about 5 of them.
So what we did today at the start of this hangout, we were showing their hangout where we were writing to them, hey guys, come on if you want to come now. But beforehand, before we went live, they had a live hangout. I'm listening. It's boring as hell. You know, you can hear people scratching their head.
For real. Well, they know everything. They know everything. You know, it's like, it's boring when you know everything, right? I mean, like, they obviously have never read like a wise man knows that he knows nothing. That's why wise people have an interesting conversation continually. Go on, brother.
They can't come up with anything, because if they do, they go against what they're constantly talking about.
Yeah.
Because they're just in a box. They can't leave.
Ooh, good point.
Boring.
They can't question it because that's a good point.
Well, they don't have any inspiration. You know what I mean? That's the other side of it too. Is a lot of us out here have these we've been kind of in this whirlwind of like information and emotion, and it's
not
it's
only
like,
that, most of us generally are like happy people in real life. You know what I mean? Like not
real,
tormented souls. Like you could just tell.
Yeah, well, if you look at the names that Gem Panda has chosen as some of his other names, on his sock puppet accounts, you can feel the bitterness and kind of tragic angst there
What-
in the names
yeah, you know-
chosen.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't like to speak ill of. I mean, I've had such good and also furious conversations with Jem. So I always show, and he did jump in. I was getting jumped on the other night by a couple that wouldn't let me fucking speak, and it was just like he stepped in and kind of So I give his credit to the idea that he does know how to host a debate, but it's the position that they take, and they have no ability to step outside of it. And it's almost like I think they do it for the lulls of just saying to someone, "Oh, it's a ball," and then trying to get you to react.
Did you guys see Eddie Bravo on Mark Sargent shared it?
He's supposed to be on tonight. Or they said on tonight on Globebusters. They said he speaks at 10 p.m. Pacific time
with Eric Dubay, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man. Maybe.
Eric Dubay's on Eddie Bravo's show.
Today?
Yeah, tonight. It'll be in like four more hours, I think.
Nice. I can't wait for a piss-stained beard to join them.
What do you guys think how the two hosts of InfoWars, how they reacted?
The two hosts?
Yeah.
I actually laughed when she said, "My brain hurts."
I know. It's cognitive dissonance.
I'm surprised she could feel it.
And the other guy, the guy in the two, he's saying, no, but.
Yeah, at least she can understand that that's what's going on in her head. He doesn't even get it.
Yeah.
He's like, what's going on? No.
Yeah. And I tell you what, he was good at telling the story about watching documentaries with Joe Rogan, space documentaries, tons of them, and after watching for a while, all space and stuff, going, all of this stuff that I'm seeing right now, is all of it CGI.
Oh well.
Yeah, that, because I've done that when I was on the globe. I've watched amazing what they can do with CGI, because none of this, obviously they haven't got a satellite out there with a camera filming all of this, that was brilliant. And when he's saying that, the other guys, you can see they're going,
she starts her defense mechanism is just laughing.
Yes.
A lot of them, that's their defense mechanism, is they just laugh.
Yeah. It was good.
Unbelievable.
It was. I enjoyed watching that.
I think he took them down. Actually, I think if you're gonna go by the Globers talking about a debate, then I think he actually won.
Yes, definitely. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I've got to do some admin.
Trolls will be trolls.
Troll or be trolled.
I told that Requiem for a Dream that he was. I thought he was copy and pasting shit, and he was that's a logical fallacy. He would say
I had that in my comment section one time. It was down to like a 4-paragraph deal. I did a hangout where I showed it, and then I even said on one of them, I replied, "Is that the best you got? Is copy and paste?" He tried to say that it wasn't copy and paste. Hence, that's why I showed it on my hangout. Even down to the damn typos was a copy and paste. Must have been, yeah.
But do you know, if you think in terms of, if you go back 6 months, the assaults and how they were coming and how fast and how now compared to that, now it's very lame. Now suddenly it's almost like you're a giant and they're little being, It's like, just get off, It's like, no, I don't. No, just stop, They're just pesky now. Whereas before it was like, oh, dude, I've got to explain this to this guy who doesn't get it. And I think it's because they've been rumbled. So now we know, this guy who's asking this question or who's saying this, it's not a genuine person saying, duh, how can you think it's flat? Obviously it's a ball. That's not what it is. It's a troll, like all of them.
Yeah, they just bring up their theories, and they expect you to not know that it's all on top of a foundation of theory. It's like that's our claim, is that it's on a foundation of theories. So you can't tell me another theory that's based on top of that, because I'm saying that foundation's not right.
I pointed that out several times. You cannot utilize a theory to try to in an attempt to prove a theory to be a fact. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Prove the first theory.
Sorry, Hillbilly, go.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, especially if the theory is fundamentally flawed by virtue of not being falsifiable. So it's already broken the golden rule of science.
Yeah.
There has to be something, at least something logical that would disprove it. There can be all kinds of things that were unexpected that could disprove it, but there has to be something that you can arrive at logically that would disprove it. Otherwise, how are you supposed to test it? If you have a theory, you want to test that you can't break it. Yeah, that's what you want to test. You don't want to test that it's working fine. You want to test what breaks it. So you can't predict something that would now logically, none of us can say, this evidence could arrive in the future that did prove the Big Bang. So the theory itself is fundamentally unscientific.
That's the main point, is that most of these things that they say aren't even theories.
Yeah. Hey,
we're just giving them a benefit of the doubt for that. They're not even theories.
So sorry there. We have question everything, and we have wait the sheeple.
How you doing?
Good to meet you.
Wait the sheeple, bro. What's up?
We've spoken before. We've spoken before some time ago.
Yes, we have. Hey, I was just kind of jump back for a sec. Get everybody talking about 9/11 and how they think, how did they screw up so bad? And I'm sitting there thinking, it's hollow buildings. If you look at a lot of the pictures, I mean, they're just hollow. They won't even use everything. So they just drop it.
They openly admit that's the reason why they was up for lease, that they was the money hog. Couldn't keep them rented out. The cost of the electric heat was, with the increase of electricity out in New York City, they just couldn't afford it. That's why they was up for lease.
Well, not even that. There was just the elevators didn't even stop at a lot of floors because there wasn't a lot of floors. Yeah. People were thinking that Judy was psyop or want to talk.
Are we talking about the main two buildings?
Yeah, the north and south tower. They weren't fully rented out.
No, they weren't. They weren't even there. They were just, the elevators didn't stop on them. So when people were sitting there questioning, where is all the buildings? Well, you're expecting to see full towers coming down, and when 3/4 of them are empty and not even the floors aren't there, you're not going to have that. So we're giving them way too much credit, thinking they're so advanced and so all this, when in reality there was already a big tunnels underneath, and that's where they have the museum now.
Well, listen, even if you go back and you watch films like romantic comedies, are the kinds of films that would be based in New York and would show the nightscape, the cityscape, and would have the towers. In lots of them, in the series Friends, in the opening credits, there's lots and lots of video and film of the towers at nighttime, and you can see that only very few of the floors are lit up, which means very few of them are being used. Otherwise,
they just weren't there.
We're not talking midnight. We're talking, working hours. Why aren't all of the floors lit up? With maybe one or two not lit, but not the other way around. It's like you can see maybe 15 of them are lit up, maybe 7. Not that many.
In the 70s, when they were building it, they went way, way above what they were saying, because all they were doing, just using that center to hold the empty parts. And for years, people were saying that you couldn't even stop on 3/4 of the buildings in the elevator. So you got the few little select to make the thought of full towers. And they build them on 9/11, drop them on 9/11. So all that is it's just how they start over. Look at all the other countries. Every country has a Statue of Liberty. All these countries have 2 towers, and now most of them dropped both towers, and your bigger ones have 1 tower that they replaced. So it's just a way, all they do is they make us think that they have all this power, have all this crap. They run all their money, steal all their shit, and then drop it, start it over, and everything's gone. But they're not this almighty powerful, and they didn't screw up because it went beautifully. Everything they did, people are still questioning it. We're doing it now, and bringing in like Judy Woods, their secret technology, and really it's just a demolition from the get-go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that most of the power is perceived. I think we give them a little bit too much credit.
Well, if we just simply think rationally, okay, the 2 towers come down, also the Solomon Brothers building, and the other 4 buildings? Because
no, they had to be demolished. They did get damaged, but they didn't come down.
Yeah, there's no reason to it. How do you suddenly, on a day when there's some kind of weird terrorist attack going on in New York, somehow organize for people to come and do detonations to pull down buildings? The other ones.
No, this was after the cleanup started when they brought down buildings. The only buildings that came down in New York City was the 3 buildings. Buildings 3, 4, 5, and 6 had to be torn down because they had significant amount of damage from the collapse.
That's what they tell us. That's what they tell us. But we have to remember there was at least 2 weeks of people going through the stuff, through all the
rubbish. Yeah, until they found the gold and called off the search and rescue.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I'd like to point out that's common sense. If people would go look at the picture with the firefighter getting ready to plant the flag on top of the rubble, there's a box column there that shows you the edge. There is no doubt anybody can deny that this was cut in some form of a manner. They'll try to tell you it was done to disassemble it, to haul the debris out with a settling torch or a cutting torch. Anybody who's ever properly used a cutting torch knows as soon as you get the initial blow-through hole through, the slag goes away from you. The molten metal goes away from you, meaning all the molten metal should be on the inside of the box column. Thermite.
And the buildings were cleared. I mean,
hey, true that, hillbilly. Yep, I'm used to settling for sure.
Thermite, on the other hand, would be such a rapid burn that molten metal would go on both the outside and the inside of the box column, and that's exactly what you see.
Did anyone notice? Did anyone notice there was a news channel? I think it was an American news channel 7, where they showed the helicopters going by, and then you see a circular disc going at the exact same angle at where the plane was supposed to have been hit. Did anyone see that?
I don't think
I've heard of it. I don't support it.
I've seen that. I don't support it with the CGI crap that they got going on with all that video footage.
Yeah,
but
I know what you're talking about. The couple that's in, and the woman goes, "What's that?"
That's right.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's right. There was no plane at all.
Right, and they say it was a vaporizer.
No,
to that effect. There.
The thing goes out and woof, you know.
Yeah.
It was a sphere. It was a sphere, a metallic sphere that was coming down.
The initial conspiracy that came about it was a cruise missile, and they overlaid the image of a commercial airliner on it. I can't say that I honestly support that, but that's the way it originally started. There is no doubt that there is multiple angles that has flaws in them. Everything from what seems to be pre-staged places to take a photo, a prime photo, because you had the witness or a bystander, to where the photographers got to be somewhere down by the guy's knees because the camera's aimed directly straight up, and there's just a small window of opportunity between the 2 buildings for the plane to come through.
Yeah.
And this guy got it. We've got video footage in one aspect. If you play it in slow motion, the video actually goes backwards for one frame. That's also the same video footage to where it appears the nose goes away. That would sort of support a chroma key effect.
Yeah.
The nose got right before the impact. So there's more than one video that needs to be questioned, only on major medias. To prove that they need to be questioned, September 11th was a beautiful day, nice, beautiful morning, blue skies. Go look at the ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, BBC, cover them all. Go look all major.
I heard it was freakishly clear that day.
Yeah, all amateur video footage shows nothing but a crystal blue sky. All the boob tube media shows you would think you was on Los Angeles on smog alert day.
And there's also the footage of of the background, Manhattan background moving, behind the towers. The towers aren't turning. It's not a helicopter's moving. You've got a parallax effect going on.
Yeah.
The friggin' bridge moving across in the background.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Kim, I got a request amongst the flat earthers out there. As someone, I'm coming from Jersey, New York area. It's like, for flat Earth's sake, can we just, all the people that would claim flat Earth, like, it kind of infuriates me when I hear people say no one died on 9/11. Now, whether or not that be the case,
that's what I was going to ask about.
I find that saying that is like, it makes me want to punch whoever's saying it in the face, like whether you're flat Earth or not. And like, now whether that be the case or not, I'm not going to argue, we can discuss that. But to outright say nobody died on 9/11 is such a foot in the mouth of a flat earther in a generic setting.
This is the thing.
I haven't done much research.
If no one died on,
there's no way for anybody to establish that nobody died. How could they establish that? They would have to know everybody that was supposed to be in the building and that everybody that was supposed to be in the building were not there. They would have
Hence
to
my
know.
frustration.
I think that's a wild claim. That's something along the lines of what you would call not gatekeeping, but call it when you interject
controlled opposition,
wild hypotheses.
Throw the red herring fallacy out there. Yeah,
muddy the waters.
It makes right. You instantly lose all credibility as soon as you say that. Because if you really believe that, then something's wrong with you. You're not being objective at all.
Well, for somebody to say that, have they ever thought about the fact that we got the Jersey girls? Jersey girls did not take the lawsuit so they can, or the payoff so they can maintain the lawsuit that demanded that the 9/11 Commission be even or be questioned. We all know that the courts are controlled and in the long term, nothing ever came of it. However, why would some of the best original truthers, unless they was plants, but they don't appear to be plants to me. Their actions speak for themselves. Don't look at the presenter. Look at
who are we talking about?
The Jersey girls.
I don't know
the
about
wives of the firefighters.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, they actually brought a lawsuit against George Bush also.
Right. The thing is, right? As horrible as it is, you need for people to die to sell the lie.
Well, Jefferson said the tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of patriots, right? So the thing is like, what they've done
time to time.
Yeah. So like, with I just think, and really, I'm not, trying to like, I mean, that's a broad bunch of subjects we just talked about. But when people talk about nobody died, I think you make flat Earth look stupid, and so almost like, out of like respect for the discussion of flat Earth, like, get that nobody died on 9/11 out of your mouth, because it sounds ridiculous, and you make flat Earth look stupid as hell when there is so much scientific credibility.
And Antonio's saying that's a wild claim because it's not falsifiable.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You can't establish that nobody died. It's the same as you also can't establish how many people died. It's just not something that can be established. There could be an extra person that has sneaked in that hadn't told anyone, that hadn't signed in. It's just, why take it there?
Well, even like, I look at it like, what if a dog died in the frickin' backyard of that fucking building? Who knows? Like, you can't say that nobody or nothing. I mean, never mind for the dust and the asbestos that was in the air that people are still suing about. I mean, there's a story this week about a firefighter that passed away because of this shit. So, there
was obviously debris, so people could have.
Right. And, I mean, think about it. It's the best asbestos cleanup job you could ever. I mean, think about it. They paid nothing. They got the government to pay for it. Silverstein got paid for it and actually tried to get paid twice for 2 buildings.
Yeah.
Fucking bastard. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny too, because I was seeing a chick at the time who worked for Silverstein.
Wait, you don't blame him for at least trying, though, right?
Well, hey, you got it. Yeah, exactly, right? You already got got the retainer, right?
How do these people? Okay, this is a thing. Right, first, let me calm down. You know the Bohemian Grove where they go for the cremation of care ceremony? Yeah. I was just gonna say, how do these people like Silverstein sleep? It's like it's because they go to the cremation of care. You know,
They burn all their worries away.
There's my care. Burn it away, so I don't have to care. Because
what's the cremation of care? What does that mean?
This is the thing. The guy knows. That guy knows it wasn't hit by planes. He knows what went down, and he wanted to get extra pay. You know.
Well, never mind. There's those interesting stories about I don't know. You're probably familiar with it, with the Israeli students that did an art project that happened to like go on the inside of the fucking elevator shaft for no reason. Like and Ace, the what do you call it? The cremation of cares. They burn a fake human body on stage and then play screams through the speakers. So what's proposed is that what they're doing is they're actually doing sacrifice deep in the woods, and then they're coming and making a recreation of it. And they probably do it with a real body, but because they brought Alex Jones in, they put a fucking fake one. Fake metal.
I mean, why wouldn't they use a real one? What would be the point of even having a fake one? That's the stupidest thing in the world. Obviously, it comes from a real sacrifice, just like ritual child sacrifice in the Jewish religion. That's not something they'll deny from the past. They say it's something they did in the past, but it's still something you could do today if you wanted.
What's crazy is you start learning about what they're doing with, like, let's say, blood and the blood of babies in medical health today to prolong life. And now you see that these people, I mean, what they've done is they've crafted their whole scientific agenda to justify what they do. They've got the Jupiter and everything and all the fake like they took they made astrotheology and literalized it and made everything a ball with Jesus real. And then they're going back to what they initially had, which was astrotheology and all this other stuff. They've put it right back into the mix. And you know what I found interesting? NASA has a rocket. And check this shit out. I watched you. NASA has a rocket called the Adept, and the Adept is for breaking paradigm while entering different surfaces of planets.
What?
And it's like
paradigms. What the fuck is it? Man. That sounds like a conscious thing. That sounds like the rocket's going into your mind or some shit.
Hey, man.
Who talks like that, bro?
Right. Well, let me just say something. You mentioned what goes on with baby's blood. Okay, human diploid cells from aborted fetuses are in the vaccinations that they give humans.
And I wonder if what they're doing is they're fucking with the frequency of those cells and then injecting them into the person so that, like, I wonder, because we, like, actually Bob and them kind of touched on it today. I didn't buy what footage that they showed personally, but I get it. Is the idea that sound effects matter, and like, I wonder if they've affected those cells in certain ways,
right?
And then they, you know what I mean, like just weirdo shit.
Greg Braden, that Greg Braden footage of the cancer being dissolved away by praying Chinese doctors. Wait a second. Wait. I watched that years ago before I was a flat earther. Okay, that is charlatanism.
Yeah.
You know why? When you're going to have a baby and they take you to see the scans, the sonar, the sound imaging, where you can look on the screen, they can change the depth of field. Okay, so they can see you've got a fetus there. Okay, and they can show you a thumb through. You're looking from here. You can see all the way through to here and all the way back. You can shift the focal point. Okay, you're shifting the portion of the depth of field. And what they were showing, and if you go back and you watch it again, you'll see this tumor, and they show the tumor, and then they shift field. Okay, and the tumor, because the tumor is at this angle away. Okay, it disappears a bit, and then it disappears a bit more. But because they're doing it very gently, from time to time it reappears very ghostly. If the tumor wasn't there, it wouldn't reappear ghostly. But if the tumor is still there and they've just shifted focus a little bit and they're going back and forth like this because it's a breathing human body and they can't keep it completely static, okay, and it's doing this, it will reappear. That is complete charlatanism. And anybody who wants to inspect the footage can look at it and see this. Now, there's a point at which it might be valid, which is the human body responds to belief. So what they're doing is they're saying, look, it's gone, you're healed. And the people go home and they think I'm healed, and then the body gets healed, and they never discover that it was, they got duped.
Hey,
But other
that
people,
could work.
yes, it's a placebo effect, works for sure. But the actual footage that they're disclosing it as they're praying, no chance. No, just looking at the footage, you can see it reappears a little bit, and it's because they're changing.
You would need to look at the.
Globebusters?
Say again.
Was he showing this on Globebusters? Is that what you're talking
Yes, yeah. This is Greg
I
Braden.
missed that part.
Wait, who showed that on Globebusters? When was this? Today?
Today, yeah. Bob showed it.
Oh,
I heard it.
Okay.
It's kind of like a loud machine or something.
They're showing it with, what's it called?
Ultrasound.
Ultrasound. That's it. They're showing it.
Okay.
They're showing an ultrasound image, and
It's like Royal Rife.
No. This is totally different. They're just using the maternity kit, the kind of stuff they used for looking at unborn babies.
Right. So basically, it shoots a signal, but it can be tuned to a certain depth, because when you're looking through a stomach, you don't necessarily want to see intestines or muscles or whatever. So you kind of, it's like pulling your focus on a camera, like with a really nice lens that makes everything blurry except that little sliver. So look at it, not just a tumor, but background to see if it's moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. A good example is like when you see an MRI, it's that cross section. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
it's always like a 2D plane.
Well, the kind of imaging they're doing is similar. It has a depth. It will represent to a certain point, and they can narrow the field or go deeper, and that's what they do. That's how you can see sooner or later you're going to have a baby. Okay, well, hopefully the woman that you're with will have a baby, and you won't freak out because it's female that's having the baby. But anyway, you'll go for this sonar. Damn it, what's the word?
Ultrasound. I hear that's not necessarily good for a baby. I don't know.
Really a bit invasive, but you'll go for the ultrasound and they will show you. In fact, when they ask you whether you want to know the gender of the baby, if you want to know before it's born, they're showing you the baby, but if they want to show you the gender, they zoom in towards the pelvis so they can zoom in, go through parts of the baby that they were showing you before. They go through. You don't see those parts anymore. You're seeing the new level. Yeah. So that, I urge anybody who thought that was really what was happening, that Chinese had the power to intend the tumor away, to go and view it again and view it calmly and just watch it ghost back. You see it ghosting back several times, and it's shameful, because if somebody like Greg Braden is saying this without having stopped and considered the possibility that no, they're not just willing cancers away, then he should have stopped and checked. He should have.
It's funny, as critical as these people want to seem, and they are on a lot of subjects, they'll instantly, oh yeah, this is absolute truth, just from seeing one little small clip, It's like half the crap out there is fake. Like all these free energy machines on YouTube, all crap. Like,
I don't know.
People are just.
I would have to test them. But I tell you what.
No. I'm just saying a large portion. People are just doing it. And who is Greg? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
who is Greg?
What I think would be interesting would be to follow up on the people that had this psychic treatment from the Chinese doctors to see how many of them had actually ended up without the tumor that they had before. That would be a really interesting study, and it could turn out that that's what these doctors are doing, but they're not going to say it beforehand.
Right. That would ruin it.
Yeah, you're part of a trial.
Well, cancer is a big business, isn't it?
Yeah.
We got to bear that in mind. Illness brings in billions each year, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to question.
To the same companies that are getting billions from oil and energy.
Right.
Go figure. You think those people have our best interests at heart?
Right.
With the amount of money, these profits, I was trying to bring this up yesterday. I didn't really know how to explain it, but over in Dubai, which used to be the United Arab Emirates, right? You see that city. It's like God just shit gold bricks everywhere, right? Money everywhere. But really think about it, that all that money came from us drilling for oil just in their little country over there, right? And they might be getting 1% of the profits that those oil companies are actually making, right? Which is still a hell of a lot of money. What I want to know is, where's all the money, the rest of the money, like the other 99% of the profit that could build 99 more Dubais, you know what I mean?
Yo, but
we're
dude,
talking about enough money to.
Hey, yo, fuck that. We're talking about money though, and the problem is everyone thinks they understand what money is. They don't. And I've given people almost like enough credit out here and be like, yo, maybe there's somebody, but it just seems like, like I feel like a lot of people they don't understand how the bond system works, how the SEC works, how the DTTC works, why they control the money the way they do, and everyone is out here arguing about. They think that they know that the fucking NASA's taking all that money and doing something with it. Now, granted, like they can print up bonds whenever they need to, and they can always flow money to wherever they need to. You know what I mean? They put out a charade of a public accounting system, and everyone says, "Oh, look at they got 58 billion." They probably got more than 19 billion a year. They probably got way more than that, and that's to equate real world shit to a financial fictitious fake instrument known as the Federal Reserve note or any instrument printed under the IMF. If you don't know about that, you don't know. Like I gotta say to everybody out there, just when in doubt, do nothing. Because if you don't understand what the money supply business is and how they operate it and why they have like things like triple life sentences so they can monetize your birth certificate bond, which traded on the SEC for 90 plus years and another 90 plus years. That's why they got shit like that. And everyone's like, oh yeah, I never understood that. Well, that's why. Because they monetize your bond. Every time you're going for a mortgage, you're giving them then the license to credit the money. I get really upset with the idea that people don't like, oh, it's just a tax scam. Motherfucker, you got no idea. It's a whole your soul scam.
Yeah.
It ain't just about taxes. It's about it's about they got you by the balls. They got you thinking. It's like if you're going to say that I'm a citizen of some country, that's just as good as saying is I'm a chair.
Yeah.
Dead man walking.
It's like people saying they don't.
Dead man walking.
So you know what's up. Yo, look, and the U.S. citizens are not protected under the first 8 amendments to the federal Constitution. That's freedom of speech, right to bear arms. So if you're going to talk about I'm a fucking U.S. citizen, well, you got something coming. Don't be surprised when they pull the Constitution out from under your feet in court and you're stuck asking them, well, how can you, when a judge says to you, don't bring the Constitution into my courtroom because you don't understand contract law and you don't understand them, that's going to be your fault. Because even like Teddy Roosevelt said on Jamestown Convention, it's if we're going to, he who fails to govern himself will be governed from the outside.
That's right.
But I agree that's said, but next time you hear that, don't bring the Constitution into my court. Say, I'm mandated to bring the Constitution in your court because it shows your limitations. Article 3 is the judicial clause, and along with the supremacy clause with Article 6, you are hereby restricted.
Okay, guys, right. This is American law.
Yeah, we know something else. We're good.
Right? No, it's just we live in the UK and we don't have a constitution. Okay, we have an unwritten constitution. What does that mean? It means you can't go and read.
So cool. Fucking cool.
No. It means you can't go and read it.
Hey, you know what it also means? Is that if a Bobby says to me, "Hey, can I see your ID?" I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, for $10,000."
No.
And I'm gonna freaking no. Hold on, Antonio. You have the right to unlimited contract.
Yes,
you don't even have a constitution.
In the UK, they'll just say, "Come on, you're coming with us." That's it. That's what will happen. No arguing. No, really, that is what happens in the UK. Unless you've got a copper that's more reasonable, in which case you say, "Come on, man, what are you doing?" And they go, "Oh, go on, then go."
Hold on, though, Antonio. You don't think I live in a country where every cop armed with a gun has a rifle in the backseat of his car and is ready to throw me behind it, maybe with a dog and a team of 6 guys behind behind them with all armed to the teeth. Now, you're telling me that they give us these constitutional leniencies that I've noticed to exist, and that they don't give it to the British people, the people that didn't fight a revolutionary war to try to fight against their government like the United States did, and the United States lost the Revolutionary War as evidenced by the Treaty of Paris. That's why it's such militant dictatorship, and it all goes back to the Pope from a contract from 1215. So it's fucking fascinating. I'm just trying to say that you have the unlimited. If the cop ever wants to see your ID, Antonio, please say, I'll give it to you for $10,000. And what's your name and identification? Because I'm quite sure that he is licensed by the whatever county to have to provide identification to you. Because you may not have, hold on, you may not have a concept, but he has rules.
No.
I'm going to look that up for you, Antonio.
Okay, Issa, this is what happens. A policeman says, he's not going to say, will you show me your ID? He's going to say, do you have any ID? Because you don't have to have ID in the UK. So you might have a bank card or driving license, okay? They want to see it. You say no. Now you're obstructing an officer in the course of his duties. That's
right. Now, you don't think we do that over here, bro? The point is that this is what I'm trying to say, or forgive me for being so whatever verbose about it. I just study it. So I love it so much. I made a video about it, for Christ's sake. My last video.
But wait. I gotta say this too, though, real quick.
Hold on, please don't get me off topic.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on, just thank you, Ace. Like, okay, so look at it like this, like Antonio, I've said this to British cats out here. If you look to like America's law of like say Title 18, Section 242, stuff like that. Like if you go look through Title 18, you'll find all the necessary words that you guys could use for you. And I think that even your lack of having a constitution, which you do have, it's a constitution from 1689. I've looked into it, but it's like it's nothing about any for citizens. It's like, but my point being is that I think that you might have extra value because look at it. You're the people that didn't fight a revolutionary war to try to kick UK off your back. So you guys might have a little easier. The judges, I think you guys could pick up the vernacular from American law. So you would know, well, I'd gladly give you my ID so long as you could show me that I've committed a crime, or wouldn't you be operating under the color of law and possibly accept $10,000, a 10,000 pound penalty?
Yeah.
And
what I'm saying,
that's what I'm saying.
Issa, what I'm saying to you is there's loads of things you can do in the UK. Yeah. And there are lots of people. The freeman movement in the UK is huge. Okay. And you end up with lots of freemen getting away with loads of stuff. And you end up with lots of freemen not getting away with loads of stuff. And it's not based on the law. It's based on the freeman and how he comports himself with the police officer and the police officer. Whether that police officer is having a good day or a shit day. Kofo72, how are you doing?
Hey, Anton. Yeah, good man. How are you?
I'm good. Are you gonna be able to give us your solar noon on Tuesday?
Yeah, man. I'm all geared up for it.
Yes, Wednesday. Sorry.
Got this right here.
Nice.
Got my compass. Managed to find a 5-centimeter nail this morning, so we're good to go in New Zealand.
Excellent.
Just confirm for me what time you need me out on Wednesday at our solar noon, correct?
Yes, your solar noon. So whenever your solar noon is going to be, that's part of what we're trying to establish.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we've got our equinox, of course, is tomorrow here in New Zealand, 11:59 p.m. or something like that. I think it is. Yeah. So we'll be out on the Wednesday capturing that info for you guys. No problem.
Brilliant. Excellent. It happened to I heard today from Karen B, who made the video. You might have seen it on the sundial. They had.
I've not captured it yet. No.
She had a sunrise and sunset today at 90 degrees and 270 day.
Right. Okay.
She's there watching it.
Yeah.
For her today and going over tonight.
Yeah. No, it's weird. I mean, we're looking up in the sky. We're capturing it. We're doing our own experiments. There's a lot of people out there doing this, and we're certainly seeing discrepancies in information for sure.
Well, there's a Dr. Zach passed me a page called. I tell you what, I'm going to share it here.
And where are you at?
He's in New Zealand.
Oh,
yeah, I'm in New Zealand, on the North Island of New Zealand. Yeah, so.
Okay. Well, can we ask you about the freaking stars? Like, do they rotate like they say and all that?
What up, Ace?
Antonio asked me on, and I'm working from home at the moment, and I sort of had to decline because I should be working. So ADR said, come on for just 5. So yeah, look, I'm happy to talk to you about the Southern Star Trails for 5 minutes. What do you want to know?
Just, what they do. Do they circle kind of just like Polaris, but the other way?
Yeah, sure. So if you jump on my channel, Kofo72, you'll see I've put up a whole load of videos doing time lapse of the Southern Star Trail. So basically, what you get with sort of repeated observations, you get the stars rotating in a clockwise fashion from east through to west. I capture 150 minutes of star movement at a time. It gives me 10 seconds footage. I'm just using the P900. It's just an auto program. So it's just point and shoot. So when you're standing in New Zealand or
you said they move clockwise though? Clockwise?
Yeah,
Because I'm pretty sure that's how they move for me.
Now they move counterclockwise if you look at Polaris. Yo,
right, left.
Hey,
that's right.
Yo, Kofo72, man, it's an honor to talk, bro. Ace, go watch footage, bro. Seriously.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I was said to you like a year and a half ago, man.
Ace is the old dog, but I want to like Kofo's the man. So cool. Lunar waves and shit.
Kofo,
bro.
Paul, you mentioned something that I'm not clear about. So they rotate. Got it.
Yep.
You said they go east to west. What goes east to west? The rotation or the central point?
So the rotation, Antonio. So if you're standing in my front yard next to me and you're looking up, what you see with the naked eye, you can see Crux, the Southern Cross, and is in sort of the southeastern sort of sky. Yeah, so it's east of south.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you get a rim of stars around it, but in that dead center, when you're looking directly at what would be 180 degrees south, say at an altitude of say 30-35 degrees, all you see with the naked eye is a dark space. It's like a big dark hole.
Yeah,
you can't make out any stars. Now I get quite a lot of light pollution here, so I've got to take that into account. But when you set the camera up and you've got it on that long exposure, so it's taking it's a 30-second exposure, taking those shots over 150 minutes. The end result is what you see on my channel. You can see there is a depth to the call it what you like, star field, luminaries, holes in the blanket, whatever. It's we just don't know, but you can see the depth of the field of the stars, and you can also make out the stars, let's just call them that for one of this conversation. You can see the stars different trail lengths, so you get that idea that some are closer to us, some are further.
I've noticed that.
So that's there, that's for want of a better term real. What is it? I mean, and it's recordable, it's repeatable, it's observable. So I've taken countless time lapses, and it hasn't changed my view. It hasn't made me convinced we're on a spinning ball at all. Mainly because when I'm,
are you seeing parallax? Are you seeing parallax between a closer one and a farther one?
Okay, so define what you're asking me that I'm seeing.
Are you seeing the front one appear to move compared to a star that appears to be at a feather distance?
Do two stars appear to move at different speed?
That's exactly correct. So that's what I'm trying to, without using the term parallax, that's what I'm trying to explain, that what we're seeing happen. Or you can read the data this way: there are stars that are giving off longer trails over 150 minute period, and there are stars giving off a much shorter trail. Now, my latest video, I've cropped it right in. I had a beautiful clear night, no clouds for the whole of the recording period, and you can see I crop it down as far as I can go towards what would be dead center, not right in dead center. There is lit movement. It's very, very faint, and I'm using a $800 camera, so for what I'm able to get, it's as best as I can do with the P900. But there is movement in the center. Now, as I was about to say, it hasn't convinced me at all that we're on a spinning ball whatsoever. Mainly because I mean, I know we're not. I know I'm not spinning. I know that I'm not upside down right now relative to you guys. I'm just not. It's just ludicrous.
This is one of the things that I'm convinced they try to do to part of the hoodwinking. If we could establish right now from my location, from everybody's location, if we could establish mentally a straight line between me and Kofo and me and Hillbilly, like in a straight line, now you've made where you're living a much more familiar place, because you can picture traveling continuously in that line of sight straight line and arriving there. But when you make it into a spinning globe, it's very very different because you're having to conceptualize going round,
Right.
Yeah,
and that's a
absolutely.
different
Yeah.
story. And if you want to point line of sight to them, you'll be going through the globe, so you're having to detach yourself from line of sight.
It's
Yeah, that's right. I mean, my strap line is trust your senses, lead yourself.
Yeah.
You know, our senses number more than 5. That's one of the first cons. You know, we have 5 senses. We're taught all the time. You have 5 senses. You have 5 senses. Well, we have more than 5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you get your head around that and you
Don't
start
tell vegan that. Sorry.
and believe in your senses, you just have to still yourself to realize that, one, you're not spinning, and for me, in my position, I'm not upside down relative to you guys. I'm just not, and it doesn't matter who's going to try and tell me what animated CGI video production from Need Another Savings Account want to put out. It's just not the case. But the point I wanted to make about being flat and still in terms of recording the star trail is this. Like, picture this, guys. I take the camera out and I set my tripod up, and my tripod's there and it's still. You know, I set the angle of the camera, I tighten it all up, okay? Now, I record perfect parallel star trails. There's no wobble, there's no movement, okay? The only wobble you'll get is if I slightly tap the tripod, like very, very lightly. If I give it the most faintest of tap, it will go off, okay? And then start clicking from that new position, you get me? So you'll get a trail come, and then if it's tapped, it moves, okay? Now, if we're spinning, hurtling through ever-expanding cosmos at 66,000 and all these big numbers they want to throw at it, how is that possible if my recording position is not perfectly still?
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
That's it. So, you know what, Kofo? I think we could develop an argument where the South Celestial Pole debunks the globe, where we say, wait a second, if the North Pole is doing that, the South Pole can't be. And if the South Pole is doing that, the North Pole can't be. It's just
I think what I found over my sort of year and a half in Flat Earth is this. Break it down to something simple. How can you record perfectly parallel star trails being on an object that's hurtling and spinning through space? That's it. Break it down to the simplest thing, and then let whoever wants to try and unpick that with intelligence and with respect, let them try and unpick it. Because I'm way past having time for people that want to call me names.
See, the people want to say that the star trails prove we're on a spinning ball, but that's absolutely not true. If I'm in America or you're in New Zealand, that's quite a ways from pole. We should not see frickin' perfect circles above us. That shows that the sky is spinning. You cannot see perfect circles above you unless you are standing on the pole.
Well, this is one of the things that I've seen. The software, they've started to develop software where what you're saying is that as the stars circled, the stars that were from the center to you would space out wider than the stars that were from the center to the horizon. They would be spaced out less, you know, so they'd be fanned out towards you and scrunched up towards the horizon. If we were on this spinning globe, But,
there's
sorry,
hey, I'm gonna cut in to say I'm gonna leave you guys for a good and have you a good night, man.
All right, thank you, Hillbilly. Thanks for jumping on.
See you, Hillbilly. See you all later.
Who's leaving? Oh, Hillbilly, peace, brother.
Hillbilly, what Ace is saying, if you get a circle, okay, get a hula hoop, okay, and put it in front of you, it's going to be a circle. Move it a little bit, and now you've got an oblate shape. You haven't got a circle, okay? And the stars, unless you're at the North Pole looking directly over your head, you shouldn't have a circle. And we do have all of these circles, all this photography with circles. But now I've seen that they started to develop photography with the oblateness. So either the oblateness is distorting,
it's fake.
What I was saying about, sorry, Kofa, what I was saying about whether if the North Pole is representing reality on a spinning globe, the South can't be, or vice versa, is with the year. You know, the way they say, well, it looks like at this time time, you can see Polaris at that point, or the South Celestial Pole at that point, at that elevation from where you are this time of year and 6 months later, and there's been no discernible change because they're so far away that any discernible change wouldn't be picked up. It's like, okay, well, that's pointing to Polaris at this point, and later that's pointing to Polaris at that point, but the converse, the point down there has shifted massively. It hasn't shifted the same, you know. It would call for two different constellations with their stars to both of them do this shift, and they can't both of them do the shift. So what the astronomers say is that the light from Polaris bends towards us. This is part of what they say. That's how it's seen. Yeah, it's just gibberish.
Of course.
Yeah, and that's right. And that's why, I mean, what we're seeing now, you know, across the plane are people like myself, like you guys, and people that are out there doing their own experiments. There's, you know, there's a level of coordination occurring, and people are getting their own data. They're applying, they're getting their, you know, the hypotheses, and they're working out it. So from my point of view, in terms of star trails, I didn't get onto the star trails until the end of December last year. I spent my first sort of year or so on my channel just focusing on the lacquer curve, the horizon, like my own footage, my own experiments, my own observations, which I've shared on my channel. And now I've moved into the southern star field and the southern star rotation. And the curious thing to me about it, other than what I'm actually seeing and recording and how I'm applying that to my knowing that we're on a flat steel plane, is when I'm trying to engage with some of, let's just call them the bigger names in flat Earth. It's like a no-go topic. The question of what do you think about southern star rotation in a clockwise direction is normally met with me being called a shill, abuse, being told I'm controlled, all manner of things. And then I see supporters of some of these big supporters. I don't get a great deal of time. You know, my wife and I are very busy, you know, just trying to keep things going.
I appreciate your work, bro.
Yeah.
And I wish I could do more hangouts. I wish I could watch more videos, a whole other things. But, you know, we have to divide our time sort of reasonably between our all our passions and other things that we have to do. So look, it's curious to me that this question's being avoided. Now, I know it's not an easy question. I know that it throws a lot of mud into the water. But if we go back to what we were talking about earlier, and we come at it from the point of view of, well, how can we record these perfectly parallel trails if we're hurtling through space? Then it gives us that question to put back on that most basic of level. Right. But on the positive side, just very quickly, I'm going to have to get going because I said to ADR just 5 minutes, but but look, on the positive side, a lot of people are contacting me either through public comments or private messages, thanking me and saying, look, this is the only thing stopping me from coming out about flat Earth. This southern star trail rotation is what's holding me back. And there's a lot, and there's, for my small channel with my small influence and, you know, reasonably modest sub numbers, you know, it's interesting to me how many people are making that connection and voicing that, you know, either, as I say, publicly or privately.
Well, is this the first time you've said this publicly?
No, it's been
my channel's been up for a year and a half. I've been talking about for a little while.
No, I always got the drift that you were in a way so neutral.
No, not at all. He's saying, guys, it's flat, and we have a big question mark for the flat Earth. So with the stars. So let's look at it. This is what I'd like you to discuss to see if we're matching. Okay, what you're describing is, because I've seen your footage, you have the central point and the stars there do a much smaller circle, considering the exposure is the same length and the gap between the shots is the same as the other circles wider out. But the other circles wider out are longer. Now that says to me either those stars are stacked in a funnel and they're moving in a funnel shape, like out there in space, which is not what astronomy says. It doesn't say that they're in some kind of funnel shape. Or or there's something else going on that's very difficult for us to figure out, but not that they're all distant. That shouldn't, this longer at this point and shorter at that shouldn't happen, guys. All of them should have the same distance, all of the stars, because we've rotated the same respect to this star here as respect to that star there. All of them should have the same length of trail.
Yeah, the answer, that's right. But the answer is its depth. This is what I'm saying. The magnitude of distance from the viewing position gives you the shorter trail versus the longer trail. See, I mean, we've definitely got a clockwise road. When you look from New Zealand, I can't speak for the southern tip of South America because I'm not there and I haven't seen it myself. I can't speak for as far south as you can get in South Africa, which is still way above where I am here at 37 South. No, I can't speak for Tasmania and the lower portions of Australia, but I know people in Australia that I trust who are observing the same thing as me. But to speak directly, I can't. So we are seeing a clockwise rotation from the south. Okay, you are seeing the opposite in the north. This is occurring. What it is, whether it's stars or luminaries or a projection or all of the theories you can come up and discuss over you could discuss it for weeks, because all you can do is discuss it. I can't jump in my X-wing there parked out the front of my house and fly up and go and check it out. So all we can do is record and capture the information that we know is credible.
Well, that's the best part.
What does it mean?
This is new exploratory science, like real science. We're actually trying to figure out the world around us, And
another thing
for the first time.
Listen, another thing we can do, because you have Stellarium and those software that replicate the skies, okay? But they don't establish depth or distance. They just replicate the skies. So with this, with what I've seen, it looks like the stars that have the biggest arc to them, the biggest length of trail, have to be rotating closest to us, and the ones that have a tiny little thing have to be further away. So what we can do as flat earthers is replicate it. We can replicate this. We can make a funnel, put holes in it, and record it turning and make a time lapse.
For sure. I mean, what I'd encourage you, look, guys, I've got to get going, so I need to get back on the work.
Thanks for stopping by, for sure.
Yeah.
No, you're
forgive
welcome.
me about that, bro. Bless.
Hey, no worries, man. Seriously, it's look, in our world of sort of trying to uncover what the truth is, people get upset, they get misunderstand things, and that's easily done. It's like when you send a text message, you mean one thing, the other person reads it and reads something else. So I get that. You just kind of got to push through that stuff and make it water off a duck's back. Some people need to be addressed and told what's what, but they're very, very few, and they're not really worth your energy. So I wouldn't waste too much time on those people. But look, Antonio, thanks a lot for letting me jump in, and no doubt I'll catch up with you again sometime soon.
Yeah, no doubt. And thanks for coming on. And I will see you on your solar noon.
Yes, absolutely. And if you guys can jump on my channel and support me and have a look at what's going on there, have a look at those Southern Star Trail videos. The latest one, there's no music. It's just get on with it. Here's the information. Here's what it is. And you can see yourself. And from me, it's all truth. It's all truth.
Yeah, be sure to leave a comment in the chat so people can click on you.
I will. I'll put a link to it. And we shouldn't shy away from difficult questions to answer. We shouldn't say, it doesn't look like this curvature. We can address that all day long. No, we should establish what's what.
It needs to go in the pot. We're flat. We're still, and the observable clockwise rotation of the southern stars is real. We need to throw all this stuff into the pot and figure out what it means. Okay. Thank you guys. See you.
Thank you.
Toodles.
Later, man. Bye. I'm gonna put.
I would have to agree.
I'm gonna put a link to his channel now in the chat. What he said about,
for sure, there should be no reason to not look at it because we know there's no freaking curve. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be scared of it.
This is what I think. Why I think some people are not looking at these things, because I think they will arrive at the conclusion that they're on a globe. It's like, dude, if you've not understood that the globe is a fantasy made up to make you believe that you're on a globe, and the real world is something different to that, and you think you're going to find something that tells you you're on a globe, then take a break from it. Go take a break, engage in some different hobby, let things consolidate in your mind, and then come back with eyes afresh. Because if you think that you're going to find something that's going to disprove flat earth, you're not going to find it. You're only going to find questions, and then some of them will be head scratchers. Let's face it, physics and physicists scratch their heads. They're trying to discover the real sciences of the study of the natural world. Let's not forget, so let's study the natural world, and the South Celestial Pole is here in our natural world. So I think I don't know, I have a problem with people who are kind of religious about their mentality and they won't venture into certain areas,
That's right.
But no, dude, come on.
Yeah. Well, belief is a dangerous thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's the most dangerous thing. Belief is it's
like a horse with blinkers.
Hey,
you won't look left and you won't look right.
Hey, you know what though? Hold on though. Think of it like this though, man. There's also a level of faith, right? And it's like in the idea of like when warriors, like back in the day, like kind of the thing where a lot of people talk about how like, oh, we're missing that like side of ourselves that was connected to the earth. Well, part of that was being warriors, right? And the thing is, like, that's where it took the faith to go to battle. It took the faith to sing to march into possible fucking doom and into the unknown. So like, when everyone belittles faith and belittles all this stuff, we should remember that like those are the traits, as Kofo mentioned, we have more than 5 senses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the idea that like maybe it's not faith, but it's one of your senses that you've deprived of exercise,
Yeah, but we have to draw a distinction between faith, which is really a synonym for determination, to belief, which is really what's the word?
I agree with you.
Belief is an imposter for knowledge, and it tricks people into thinking that what they believe is something that they know, and it isn't. It really is not. And when you will have had this, Isa, a million times, people saying, "Oh, well, I don't believe that." It's like when somebody says, "I don't believe that," what they're saying is, I assume that what I believe is true, and therefore it's knowledge, really, and I just refer to it as belief. It's true. I know it. What you're saying, I don't know. Therefore, it's not true. And that's what they do. They don't say that's not true. They say, I don't believe that, as if belief was bigger than truth. And belief is not. Belief is an illusion.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
belief only exists because it's something that we are told. It isn't something we have proven for ourselves. So we listen to other people and we believe it, or we read something and we believe it. It's not based on hard proof. It's not based on our own observable evidence.
And then you have faith, which is ethereal. Just because it's ethereal doesn't mean it's not true. I mean, we just established in Ghostbusters that the ether really is there, as established by the US Army. So faith is a softer, gentler thing. You can have faith that your love in your children will never diminish and be 100% correct, even if your children turned out to be murderers or whatever.
Well, no, but what I mean is like this. It's like the idea that we're only out here thinking and willing to expose our ideas because of a certain element of faith that we're going to be able to reach out and open up someone's mind, right? Or I don't know, or some vain purpose. I'm not really sure. I would certain people's, but like, at the same time,
I would call it hope. I would call it hope, but it's the sister. It's faith's sister, hope. That's what I would.
No doubt. No doubt.
But faith is like hope, isn't it? Though it's one of those virtues, and it's a virtue. If somebody,
what makes it?
Isa, let me give this example. If somebody says, "I have faith in you," how bolstered are you? Because I've just said, I think that you are sublime, worthy, and are capable. That you can do it. I have faith in you. Boom. There you go. Now you can do it. Just because somebody said it. And it's the same when you have thinking yourself.
Yeah, man. I think of it more like, I don't know. I think of it on the idea of like, okay, we attack at 11, right? You know, it's like one of those setups where like you're surrounded place and you're going to attack at 11.
Well, the North Pole.
No, when the clock strikes 11, right? And then now, like, you know, so when that, like, you know, it's like now everyone's got to attack at 11. So it's like, you know, like I'm trusting on you to fucking attack at 11. I'm trusting on everyone. You know, everyone's got to attack at 11. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's everyone there, and it's the faith in in the people, or the faith in like my brothers and sisters that's gonna make it okay. We going in at 11.
Yeah, but wait, you just made me think something. Okay, so the plan is we attack at 11. Okay, everybody's waiting. It's 5 to 10, and they say, right, I'm gonna make a coffee. They're halfway through making a coffee. The phone rings, and then they've started over there. Why have they started over there? Because it's 11 over there. Like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, yo, imagine you went on UTC time, fucked it all up. That's what happened in my interview with Doomweaver. I fucking had like it literally Gleason's map, thank goodness, explained it to me. It was an hour shy of what it was listed by Google it would have been. And I was like, interesting. And then, but you look on Gleason's and it was right over the line. And I was like, fucking A.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I'm gonna urge you all to go to either Issa's or Ace McLeod if you want to host a hangout, because I need to get to bed because I've got a date with Vincent P tomorrow. We're gonna
sexy.
Yeah. So do you want to do a hangout and everybody can go there?
Hey, I just wanted to say something about something that I've been thinking about. The going up high enough to people thinking that you can see curvature and stuff, even if you are on a ball. I think even if you were on a ball, you would never actually see any curvature, like as far as going across the screen like that.
Yeah.
Until you've seen the edges of until you were up high enough to see the whole thing. So I think they keep saying that they can see curvature at a certain point going like that, and it's like, okay, if that's the case, then turn around 180 degrees. The horizon would be lower when you turn around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think they're kind of screwing themselves when they say that you can see it curving like that.
Last year, I forget the name of the channel. There was a woman. She made a channel, Flat Earther, and she said she has a question, and it was a brilliant question. It was, say they're coming back to Earth, okay? At what point they're out in space, and this is a thought experiment, the same as that you just said, but in reverse. You're out in space and you have the globe, okay? And you're coming towards the Earth, and the globe gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the horizon eventually at some point establishes itself. At which point does the horizon stop being curved and start enveloping you behind you? How does
I would like to answer that.
Well, it doesn't. Go on.
Well, no, I'm just wanted to point out finally. So, I don't know when the guy made it, but he did a simulation that showed a camera looking eye level, rising up from sea level to 25 miles, I believe it is, whatever the height of the ISS might be. And he did it on a flat plane as well, side by side.
Yes.
And at mountain level, you can already see that the horizon is dropped. And then at airplane level, it's quite substantial that at least you would be able to tell by looking out one window and then the other.
Yeah, I think that you would see it go down in a way, but not curving like that.
No.
Because it doesn't make sense. It has to be at 360 degrees until you can see the whole thing.
The way I was kind of led to believe from watching stuff over a year ago was that it takes 1,000 feet before anything's perceivable, and then to see kind of what they show us on the ISS, that would require you to be like 500 miles or 1,000 miles. I mean, a pretty substantial amount.
No, I think it would be like 4,000 for you to see that. I don't think
well, that would
ISS
be double.
You would see curve.
Yeah,
I don't think it would curve like that at all.
The ISS is only 250 miles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're screwing themselves.
And the radius of the Earth is 4,000 miles. So put an extra radius, let's say.
Yeah, so they're like they're I'm gonna hold it up this big. So like
I mean, if you think about it, they are literally grazing the surface. They're not falling around the fucking Earth. I mean, come on. And by the way, did you know that not one projectile man has ever made, not a rocket, not a bullet, not even explosives, have the velocity of 18,000 miles per hour? Not even the rail gun goes 18,000 miles per hour, or the best missile we have.
Oh,
So how did we launch an entire football field's worth of shit around the Earth at this 18,000 miles an hour? I don't get it.
We didn't. That's
Hey,
a simple answer. We didn't.
We didn't.
Can I just spell something about the railgun thing, just so you guys know? It's kind of one of those things that's like from the Schwarzenegger movie. That's how like most of the general population sees it. I know that they've done technology, but it's more like they've always laughed at it, just for the record. So just people know about the railgun.
The railgun.
Yeah, I guess.
Wait, who's always laughed about it?
I don't know. I guess the military cats. I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's like from a movie or something."
Oh yeah, it's because
it's real. It's real technology.
I've seen the footage. I've seen the.
But
it was from Eraser. That's the movie you're thinking of.
And also Commando. Doesn't he use one in Commando? Schwarzenegger.
I don't know. That's funny.
Yeah, but the thing is, military guys will laugh because it's like you if you had a target, you might hit that target with the first shot, but all of the other shots, you shoot, the whole rest of the village or whatever. Listen, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap up because I really need to after I do a hangout, it takes me half an hour to calm down to get to sleep, and it's 2:30 in the morning. So thank you all. Hey,
thanks
guys, question everything and overthought. Good to see you, and
good to see you, mate.
You too, man.
Yeah, hope you jump on for the sun tracking on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
See you guys later. So
cheers.
I urge Ace to start to hang out so everybody can go there and continue to hash things out.
Oh yeah, real quick.
Not tonight,
real quick,
unfortunately.
Antonio. Real quick, I wanted to shout out to Kofo. I'd seen a bunch of his videos and never been to his YouTube channel, so shout out. Forgive me for not checking channel. But Kofo's the shit. So bless y'all. It was good to meet him, and Antonio, you're the shit. Nice to meet all you guys too.
Good to meet you, Asa.
Bye, peeps.
Bye, guys. And just everybody think this, okay? How can somebody like Kofo, who's looking at the real world, get abuse from flat earthers? I would say that there are flat earthers who call themselves flat earthers who aren't.
What? What do you mean? What's happening exactly?
They call him a shill. They say, "Oh no, you're pushing the globe, South Celestial Pole bullshit." Because what's happening is people can't figure out what's going on with the stars. Of course, because you can't just think, "Oh yeah."
There are a couple very good theories that are ancient, like the astral plate is one. I mean, you've got theories of reflecting lights off the dome, and if you're looking south, you're looking at a reflection. It's reversed.
I'm
looking north. Whatever.
I'm convinced the sun itself is a reflection. It's, in fact,
really. You know what I was thinking?
Something that's reflecting. Yeah.
What do you think about this?
I can show video to support this. But
I agree with the reflection. But I was thinking recently that it's like a hole. It's literally like a rip in the fabric of space, and some kind of energy is pouring out. Because when I sun gaze, after you're looking at the sun for like 20 seconds, your eyes adjust and you can actually see it. You can see the outline of it, and it's got a weird electricity, fast spinning. It almost looks like the sun is like two squares spinning at ultra high speed to like make a circle, but the edges are fuzzy. It's weird. But yeah, the thing, it just looks like it has no depth to it whatsoever.
Bottom line, core message here: we've been lied to for 500 years. Let's get that out.
Yes.
Fuckers.
Ace. I don't know what I've written here behind me. Can you see?
No, I can't. I can't see your screen for some reason. I'll look in the YouTube.
I've written 4,200, and underneath I've written 10,000. 4,200 is the Kelvin of direct sunlight, and 10,000 is the Kelvin of not direct daylight.
Well, how do they get that fucking number?
Like it.
With light sensors, light meters. Right, bye guys. I'm gonna have to go
later. All right.
Thanks.
Peace out.